on this fine, lovely Friday? How are we? How are we? Are we excited for our community night? Indeed, indeed, we are reading fanfics. We are. How are we all, though? How are we all, though? Why are you back? Go to bed. Let's go to bed. That's okay. That's okay. Would I like a gift? What? Huh? Oh. Hi. Just woke up and listening to stream. I see. Stuck editing this whole week. That's fair. It's Saturday, not Friday. Oh, you're right. How are you guys this lovely Saturday? It's totally Saturday. I totally know what day it is. We're good. We're fine. Everything's fantastic. I think I'm just in the habit of saying like Wednesday and Friday. It's, you know, kind of what we do here. Sleepy day today. That's fair. Oh no, your stylist for the Switch broke. Dun dun dun. My oh my. You can make one with a Q-tip if you want. It's not as reliable, but it does work. A Q-tip and some tinfoil, and as long as your fingies are connected to the tinfoil, it'll like, I guess it carries the electronic signal to the tablet, so it works. More or less. I don't know, that's what I've been doing in my free time. But, my oh my. Missed the first half hour. We only just started. Guys, community nights are always at 7. The Saturday streams are typically later. The only reason the last one was at 6:30 was because it was on the regular schedule and not... We replaced, like, the regular Friday stream with the community night because I totally forgot that there was not another weekend in July. Oh, my. Oh, you saw performance of Heathers. Very nice. Exciting. Did I see your comment about the Twist fanfics? No, I did not. I was here for like a tiny bit and then I got distracted and then I came back to actually to stream. We do not take recommendations on stream. That is not how these work. I neglected to put the actual rules in. I just was like, we're doing this again. We got a bunch of them, so did not preface that. But for anyone that doesn't know, for anyone that this is their very first community night stream and they are excited for fanfiction, the way the fanfic stream works is when it is happening or when we think it is going to be happening, anyone that would like to submit a fanfic for me to read on stream must do so in the Discord, in the Sebek Bookrex channel, in specifically the fic reading stream submission thread that's like nested into the Sebek's Bookrex. That is where those need to go. And then from there, myself and the mods can preview them to make sure that they are okay for stream. Because I don't care what you read in your free time, but if I'm going to be reading it on stream to all of the internet, it does need to follow certain rules. And there are certain community rules as well. Like, I don't want to be reading anything where Jade and Floyd kiss. That's not for me. So, like, stuff like that. PG-13, no incestuous ships, no spoilers. Like, we don't want any Book 8 spoilers randomly popping up. You know, that would not be fun for anybody. So things have to be pre-screened, so we do not take submissions in chat. Everything is already predetermined, pre-screened, put in a spreadsheet, and then is put on this very lovely wheel. And then we spin the wheel to see who gets picked, because that is the fairest, I think, of things to do. That way, you know, like, I'm not picking anybody over anything else. There's no favoritism in the wheel. There's a limit of 5 fics per person. And then if you have written the fic yourself and you have submitted it for me to read and it has been screened and it has been approved, it gets like a little extra percent chance to land. So all of the fics that people have submitted that they have written themselves are at a 3% chance. Everything else is at a 1% chance because we have so many fics. No, Soul. No. We cannot take anybody out. It is completely random. There are lots of people that didn't get read before. There are some people that read quite a bit. But we do have a lot, so we're just gonna go and see what we end up with. AUs are fine. The rules are very limited. Because everybody's got creativity. The only thing that I'm kind of iffy on is like crossover fics, because like sometimes I'm not really familiar with the other franchise. So to me, it's just a bunch of words. And then like self-insert stuff can be really awkward, but it all depends on how it's written. So you can always submit something, and then if it just gets rejected, it gets rejected, you know? And we have had to reject Fix before, of course. It's not foolproof, I suppose. But yeah, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're just gonna be reading a bunch of fan fiction and doing all that sort of stuff. So it's a grand old time. It's a grand old time. So unless there's other things we want to chit chat about, I suppose we could just start. I suppose you could just you know, spin the wheel and see what we're doing. My, oh my. You don't think Never Trust a Fae was written by one of us? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? You picked that one out completely. I'm like almost instantaneously. Is that, I'm assuming that may or may not be one of yours? I'm looking now. No, I don't even know where that one is. Never trust a fae. Now you have me looking through the spreadsheet, so now I just have to keep talking until I find this particular one. Never trust, never ever, never. You know what I could do that would make my life so much easier is sort the titles by alphabetical order. And if I sorted them by alphabetical order, then I can just follow the alphabet to N. Oh, thank you. It was not written by, okay. Some of them, I'm used to the ones that are written by users having the little parentheses. And then the ones that have parentheses that say not written by user, it confuses my brain. Because like most of them do not have that delineation. So I might also have to fix one other one. Now I gotta find it in the list though. Not, where is it? Not, never try, there it is. Okay, perfect. That one's gone. And then I just need to check one more, because that one might have also ended up in that same boat. No, okay, that one didn't. That one I did figure out that it said not written by user, and so I did not add it being written by user. So that's good. Alrighty, everything else should be good. Should be good. All right, everything else should be good unless I made another big mistake. But only time will tell if that is in fact the case. Who's to say? Who's to say? Our kitty's gonna come in the stream. Well, I was cuddling with Valentina until stream started, and then she put her butt in my face, and then she tried to get on the back of my chair, but I forgot I had my pajama pants on the back of my chair. Well, a pair of pajama pants. I have pants on. Don't y'all worry. I do, in fact. I am clothed. As you can clearly see, I have pants and socks on in my little VTuber. But no, I was doing laundry, so I had them on the back of my chair, and then she fell off the back because she was not expecting there to be pants or like cloth, and the cloth and her weight did not go very well. So yeah, so that happened. And then she walked out of the room. I don't know where she went. Gino's sleeping on the couch. He does not care. So he may or may not make an appearance as well. Who is to say? Who is to say? Well, clearly I have my little clown onesie on. You see, I am totally clothed. I have a little clown onesie. I even have my party hat. And I have a book. Very, very fancy on this stream. Very high budget, you know? Very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. She did not fall that far. It was not dramatic. It was also not the first time that she has fallen off of the chair. No, this is not my body. It's my clothes. I do not exist as an entity that is. Yeah, no, this is a clown outfit. It's a clown outfit. I am not. This is not my skin. This is not my skin at all. That'd be kind of creepy, wouldn't it? If this was in fact my skin, that'd be wild. But no, this is a clown outfit, and then I have little socks. These are not my tootsies. These are my socks. You don't get to see my tootsies. If you wanted to see my tootsies, you'd have to pay me a lot of money. That's not. These are little socks. They're little booties. Although they are quite close to my skin color, I shall admit. But they are not my tootsies. They are in fact little booties. Indeed, indeed. Well, I'm not showing my feet on stream today. No, thank you. No, no, no. We have fan fiction that we need to read. We have fan fiction that we need to read. Also, bat feet are kind of gross. I don't know what you're expecting. It's not going to be super fun. But anyway, yeah, I should probably change the color to orange. You're right. I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking when I made this outfit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyway. Alright, who do we think our first fanfiction is going to be? What one do we think it's going to be? I wonder. My, oh my, oh my. It's going to be a historian's dilemma. A historian's dilemma. Let us see whomst is the historian? Is it you, Lilia? First, I think the wheel likes you too much, Lilia. I feel like the wheel favors you somehow. Alrighty. Shall we see what the historian's dilemma is all about? I think we shall. Also gotta change up our music here. Gotta give us some nice fancy music for our background. For our reading of the fan fiction, you know. Gotta make it nice and meditative. All that good stuff. As long as it's like in the background, but not too quiet, not too loud. Alrighty. Let us see what there is to see. So we have... This is a Twisted Wonderland Train and Lilia. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Alright, this is Train and Lilia. That's not how I spell train. Train's the other way. He's I before E except after C and when in case of train. Train and Lilia. This involves Lilia, Silver, Malleus, Moses, Train, Sebek, Bar, Revern, Melanor, and Lucius. Additional tags are Lilia needs a hug, parent Lilia, protective Lilia, twist rare pair, rare pairings, background Moses, doomed relationship, Yaoi, old man Yaoi, doomed old man Yaoi. So those are our tags for this particular fic. And yeah, that's it. So historian's dilemma. Shall we begin? All right. Lilia was in his second year when he was called to Train's office. He originally thought it might have to do with Silver since it was his first year attending Night Raven College. After all, his adorable baby boy did have a bad habit of falling asleep in unexpected places. Lilia, Malleus, and Sebek had gotten used to that little quirk of his, but the rest of the school definitely hadn't yet. He smiled as he began thinking of how he'd explain this to Train. Although as he entered the empty classroom, Lucius was perched on the edge of Train's desk. He glared at Lilia with an annoyed meow, his paw resting on a piece of paper. Lilia recognized the paper. It was their previous test that he'd taken, including his name, which had been written on it. Train looked up at him, a look of anger on his face. Mr. Van Rouge, did you even study the chapters you were supposed to read for this test? Lilia shrugged. I skimmed it, but a good part of what was written there was a complete nonsense. Honestly, I have some choice words with that author. Mr. Van Rouge, I am not joking. The answers you gave regarding the founding of Briar Valley are different from what was written about in our history books. Can I ask where you got such fictitious answers? Lilia had kept his age a secret to the staff. All they knew that he was Silver's guardian and Malleus' chaperone while Maleficia was attending her queenly duties in Briar Valley. They didn't know that this was a history that wasn't just cold fact, but extremely personal to him. He fought for Briarland and lost many people he loved during that horrible war. He remembered how warm Malleus's egg was as he held it against his chest, sprinting away from the Dawn Knight. He remembered wanting to run back to Melanor to take her with him, to save even one of the two people he loved in the world at the time. Sometimes he still had dreams about what would have happened if he had gone back for her. Lilia looked down, trying to keep his chipper attitude with a cheeky smile. He could angst later and take out all his repressed anger on video game NPCs in his dorm. Apologies, Professor. I did live in the Briar Valley for a long time, and the people I lived with recall the war very differently than these books written by humans. Lucius watched Train's expression shift a little. Now he looked a bit curious instead of annoyed. Train was a lot of things. An old man, a loving father of both cats and his daughters, and most importantly, a historian. Lucius remembered watching him late at night reading textbooks under candlelight while his wife slept with the kitten Lucius in her arms. He missed the way she smelled of pumpkin spice. Train gently stroked his back as Lilia sat on the windowsill nearest his desk. What has him so down? Lilia pondered. Lucius let out a small meow, telling Train his woes and cat while his father continued to pet him to comfort the kitty. Oh, he just misses my ex-wife, his mother. Lilia smiled and offered Lucius his hand to sniff. May I pet you as well, Lucius? I know what it's like to lose someone precious to me. The cat paused for a moment, thinking, before pressing his cheek against Lilia's knuckle. Lilia smiled as he began to scratch under Lucius's fluffy chin. Have you ever been in love, Mr. Van Rouge? Or are you too young for all that by Fae standards? I've been in love before, he nods, looking down as he recalls Malinor and Reverne's faces. Even bars flashes in his mind. Rawr. Are you married? No, I never got the chance to. I lost them all. Malinor and Reverne, he lost more literally than Bar, but Bar got engaged and eventually wed. And even though it hurt, he was happy Bar found someone he loved so much. Although, admittedly, I'm not sure if I ever would marry. If you truly love someone, then I don't see what difference a piece of paper makes in the grand scheme of things. I do enjoy attending them and learning what various cultures do to celebrate weddings. Do you dabble in anthropology, Mr. Van Rouge? Mr. Van Rouge is so formal, Train. We're both adults here. Please, just call me Lilia. It's far cuter than Mr. Van Rouge. All right, Lilia, do you enjoy anthropology? I imagine you must have learned a lot about people as a Fae living among history in the making. Well, in my youth, it was much harder for me to travel because I was Fae. I often had to do so while hiding, since some countries were more restrictive of letting Fae in. Though I doubt they mention such unpleasantries in history books. Things are definitely worded vaguely in texts. I can't say I've ever really read any history book from a Fae's perspective. Perhaps you should write a book, Lilia. Lilia smiled. That wasn't a bad idea. He'd thought about it here and there whenever he recounted a tale from his exploits as a young Fae. Although, as he thought about it, he couldn't help but notice the book Train had on his desk. Is that a book from the Scalding Sands? You have a good eye. How could you tell? Lilia lifted the book, running his finger down the spine. Books in the Scalding Sands have these golden seams that are sewn into the spine of the books. They indicate a book's difficulty since knowledge is just as valuable as gold. Or so the old saying was when I visited. And looking at this book has 8 golden seams, so I'd say it's got a high difficulty. Lilia handed the book back to Train, who looked a bit surprised. I did not know that. Lilia nodded as he opened the book to where Train had placed a bookmark. He scanned the pages and smiled. Hey, I think I remember this dance. You know the dance they're discussing? This book is set 200 years in the past. Lilia nodded and offered his hand to Train. I'll show you. Train chuckled but shook his head in a polite decline. I'm not as young as I used to be. I don't think I can dance like that. Lilia scoffed and took his hand. Oh, the writing makes it seem much more complicated than it actually is. But I can slow it down for you, he smiled as he pulled Train from his seat. Train was a bit surprised by just how strong Lilia was as he easily pulled him to his feet. Lilia smiled as he rested one hand on Train's waist while the other settled in his other hand. I'll lead and I'll take it slow for you. I've been told I'm a wonderful dance instructor. Lilia beams up at Train, who decides to go along with being dragged into a sudden dance lesson. Lucius continues to rest on the desk, eyes on the two as Lilia led Train through the simple but joyful dance. He moved his feet one at a time, allowing Train to carefully study the steps. Slowly at first, getting slightly quicker as Train allows him to lead, the dance ended with Lilia twirling him and dipping the elder man. Do you mind if I try this time? As in, try leading? Lilia nodded, smiling brightly as he used his magic to float up to Train's eye level. Train began to lead him through the steps. Lilia showed him. Lucius watched as he saw Train's smile as his steps became more confident. Soon they reached the apex of the dance, twirling Lilia before dipping him slightly, their noses brushing against each other. The two men smiled at each other with pride as they rose. You did well, Train. I suppose this is another thing I must share with my wife when I return to her in the great beyond. Oh, yeah, his wife. Lilia nodded, a sad smile on his face. Yes, you must show her when you meet again. Lilia turned to grab his test from Train's desk, sliding it out from under the now napping Lucius. I suppose I'll rewrite my answer for this test. Actually, Lilia, I'd like to hear how the founding of Briar Valley happened from your perspective. I think it will be enlightening. Lilia smiled and nodded. I can do that. As Lilia turned to leave, he saw Train smiling like a much younger man as he spoke to Lucius about how excited he was to show this dance to his wife. Lilia sighed and headed back to Diasomnia, thinking about how that dance with Train made his heart stir a little. My, oh my, oh my! Well, thank you so much, General Peepaw Van Rouge. Thank you so much for submitting your historian's dilemma. Oh, it had its moments, man. And then the wife comes right on in to just, cut through any of the fun that we were having. My, oh my. But it was very good, so thank you so much for your submission. Thank you. Alrighty. Do we think we should have another? Do we think we want another one? Or do we need some time to settle in and, and recollect our thoughts after our old Van Yowie? No, we're good. Alrighty. Then let us see what the wheel has in store for us. It has Future Freshies for us. My, oh my. Who wrote this one? Where are you? Aha, there we are. Beautiful. Okie dokie. Let me get this set up real quick. Let me put that link where that needs to go. And now we have our second fanfic of the evening. My, oh my. We have Future Freshies, written by Soul Chicken Soup. This is a Applejack fanfic for all you Applejack fans out there. We also have featured Ace, Sebek, Ortho, Applejack, Crowley, you, Grim, original characters, Spade, all the seniors are mentioned. Train is here, Kurel is here, Ashton is here, and so is Sam. Additional tags are Time Skips, Leadership, Slice of Life, Crowley is a bird brain, Unresolved romantic tension, POV is multiple, and other additional tags to be added. This is part 2 of a series, or so it looks like up at the top there. And so this will be what it is. We shall see all of the fun little Applejacky things. Alrighty, there apparently is a small spoiler in the first chapter. I'm assuming that is for your fanfics and not like the game. Or it is for something that has already passed in the game, because it got through to here. So, that is going to be my assumption for this particular fic. 7.5 has already happened. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, chapter 1, The First Meeting. The third year felt very strange to not have Riddle hovering over his shoulder, but Ace knew he now held the mantle and the responsibility of a queen. Thus, Ace is the house warden in this. Oh, I see. Okay, so all the sophomores are seniors. Got it. That's where the time skip came in. Got it. Understood. Alrighty. Thus, he needed to show he was no slouch to easily lose in a duel. He needed to establish his reign early on to the incoming freshmen. It was already off to an interesting start with him returning to NRC early to prepare for the opening ceremony. Luckily, most of the faces would be familiar because of how close he had gotten with them. He still got a chuckle at the revelation that Feisty Apple had become the new House Warden of Pomfiore after brewing the most potent poison. My, maybe he'll stop by the dorm to see how upside down it'll become later this year. My oh my, but the two less familiar faces were also debuting this year. Francis Luminaire of Octavinelle and Mozura Abdina, I'm probably saying that wrong, of Scarabia, were a year below them. And the stacked responsibilities of being an upperclassman didn't give Ace time to know them. He couldn't even put together why Azul and Kaleem picked them to take over. From first impressions, those two seemed to be the exact opposite of them. Francis was more openly enthusiastic and had a bit of an ego. Ace only remembered one time he saw the black-haired human working in the Mastro Lounge as one of the chefs. He had come out when one of the students complimented on the new seafood curry item, and the boy wanted to soak up all the praise. No idea how he was selected after Azul, though. On the other hand, Mozura was a lot more aloof. He was clearly intelligent, but he had heard from Jamil that he felt the boy had ulterior motives. Still, his senior admitted that at least he was competent and knew how to convince Kaleem to not go overboard with celebrations. Like when Kaleem threw a massive party for Ortho, who became House Warden. Oh, Ortho! Good job, Ortho. Congratulations, Ortho. Congratulations to everybody. My, oh my, oh my. I'm so happy for all of them. Perhaps that eye for finances was what got him promoted. This was an important impression of how the year will turn, so time for the game face. Ace tied back his grown hair with a black and yellow scrunchie into a ponytail as he made his way to the mirror chamber for the meeting. His eyes scanned the familiar room, and not surprisingly, Sebek was the first person to arrive. Aw, Becky boy! In the 2 years of knowing the Half-Fae, the Croc had barely changed aside from his overbearing personality. He's mellowed out a little, but he was still the loudest person in a public space. Doesn't surprise me at all. My, oh my. Even so, he was now House Warden of Diasomnia once Silver went to the internship. So some decorum was mandatory. They gave each other a nod of acknowledgement. Ace heard the familiar hum of thrusters and saw Ortho coming in. He had been House Warden for a whole year before them, so he was technically the most experienced. And it looked like he had a whole new model because if not for the feet, you'd think he was human. It was taller than his old one, possibly about Deuce's height. He even ditched the reverberator and visor completely, possibly a better cooling system installed so he didn't need those features. Hey Ace, Trapola, Sebek Zigvolt, the humanoid greeted cheerfully. His voice modulator was deeper, matching the size of his current model. How were your summer vacations? It was a wonderful time, Sebek announced proudly. Prince Malleus had graduated with great marks and returned home with a sunny smile. So many amazing recounts of the artifact Styx showed him. I forgot that Malleus was interning at Styx, Ace stated. What's your take on his evaluation, Ortho? Most importantly, nothing blew up. Yeah, you know what? Fair. That's all Ace needed to hear to know nothing bad happened. Mainly because staff managed phone calls for him so he didn't smash the screens or modules. Edea had several calls with him. Yes, my liege would sneak away at times to take strange calls on a phone I hadn't ever seen. It's a special phone based on old flip phones, created after much research on Malleus Draconia's strength and magical output. Did he get a jitterbug? Did we give him a jitterbug? Oh, no, or a Nokia. It's probably a Nokia. It has a Mystium core that adds protection to the device so it won't break as easily. And Mom personally did all the programming so it has all the functions of a smartphone. Sounds like a product Olympus Inc. would sell, Ace exclaimed. Oh yeah, they're trying to make a contract with Queen Maleficia to use some of the unwanted materials for the technology. They've been in negotiations since this summer. No wonder the Senate was throwing such a fit, Sebek mused. Serves them right, they're a real pain, yes. They haven't been removed yet? Ortho asked. My liege plans to remove them before he reaches 200. I will tell you the details when it comes to pass. I like the idea of putting snooty nobles in their place, or rather kicking them out of office, Ace snickered. You would know all about that. The scandal from the West Province even reached the Shaftlands, another deep voice stated. The three found Apple and Jack joining in hand. Aww. Jack had only grown more, now the same height as Malleus, and some of his hair— oh, he's that tall! And some of his hair longer. Apple had grown out his hair to be braided or pulled back like Ace's was. Ace assumed that Vil chose the style of his uniform, spunky but formal somehow. Maybe Jack's as well. Good of you two to join us, Sebek greeted. Did you come together? Sebek, please. I know you're bad at some things, but use your eyeballs. If they're holding hands, they probably came here together, buddy. Yep, we're already spending the summer in Jack's hometown, so of course we'd go together. Oh, he meant to the school. Never mind. Not to the room that they are in, but to the school. Got it? Who knew listening to his rural slang would be an earworm after several facecam calls when everyone was free? Well, it looks like all that is left are the head mage, you and the last two, Sebek stated. Speaking of, the head mage should have been here long before any of us. This is Crowley we're talking about. No wait for the last minute, Ace sighed in annoyance. You all still have the carefree mindsets from when you first got here. Everyone jumped when the head mage had popped up out of nowhere. And to think all of you would become house wardens, perhaps show a little respect. After our first year, you think we're entitled to that recognition? Jack pointed out. Tell me about it. Everyone was surprised again as you and Grim seemed to materialize right behind Crowley. How long have you been there? Sebek yelled, trying to regain composure. Just now. Professor Train dropped us off and we followed the head mage. His two girls were amazing hostesses, although the great Grim can only withstand so much smothering, Grim groaned. Ahem. Well, now we are only waiting on— Crowley scanned the room, counting not the right amount of people. Oh my, this is terribly embarrassing. The only sophomores had arrived. The one who had spoken was the kid with black hair with curly ends, dark red eyes, and lightly tanned skin in the Octagonal uniform. He was also carrying a basket on his right arm. The Scarabia student beside him was darker skinned with narrow blue eyes, wavy black hair that fell over his shoulders, and wore a dark blue undershirt and a red gem around his neck. He was empty-handed. I didn't think we'd be the last ones to get to the meeting, Francis fretted, though he clearly didn't look remorseful. This is why I went to get you, Mazura scolded his classmate. Why did you start cooking the moment you went to your dorm? It's called first impressions, Mazura. Maybe you should have taken a page from your predecessor. If I wasted the funding Lord Asim generously left behind, I will be under charge of embezzlement. Well, now we know that Kalim al-Asim didn't clear out everything, Ortho deadpanned. I guess. Well, now that everyone is here, let us commence with the meeting regarding the opening ceremony, Crowley interjected to get everyone back on track. As you may know, this is a very important event that welcomes each new student chosen by the Dark Mirror. Or the one whose family gives the biggest sponsorship, Ace interrupted pointedly at Crowley. The head mage flinched. Not to mention hush money. It's despicable, that's for sure, Sebek agreed, as did Jack. Housewarden Trapola, enough of these remarks, the bird insisted. Why pretend it's not true? Mazura inquired. Most of Scarabia already knows about Lord Asim's late enrollment via donations. So once every student is sorted, we are to give a short introduction of our dorms and encouraging words, Ortho surmised. Exactly, Housewarden Shroud. At least someone is on track. Then why is Senior you here? Francis asked. Their dorm doesn't get any people from the Dark Mirror. We're introducing ourselves as the honorary boarding house, you explained. Our seniors proposed it, and it's been officiated. It took an extra year to get Ramshackle in even better condition. Now the ghosts help manage it. And if students continue to act out despite our warnings and admonishments, they will be sent to you to get sorted out. You know! You has become the school therapist. So if the kids keep being naughty, they're gonna send them to you to take care of. My Yeah, literal house warden. Oh dear, oh dear. So they're basically on-site detention, Mozura assumed. I like to think of myself as a disciplinary officer, you corrected. Grim is my right hand, of course, the dire beast preened. At least his ego had been curved a little. I feel like we've covered everything that's expected during the ceremony, Sebek concluded. Unless there are some suggestions. I have one. Refreshments, Francis declared proudly, holding out the basket. First off, fresh nibbles always calm the nerves of newcomers, as I'm sure some of us can relate to when we first got here. Second, everybody gathered even in the spacious room can get hot, so small bits of water will do some good to keep people from heat stroke. That's very extreme, but I can see where you're coming from, Ace complimented. It's an important event, though that doesn't mean we have to make them stand in place for who knows how long Headmage's speech will last this year. Must you keep cracking insults at me, Housewarden Trappola? Crowley chided. Yes, unanimous chorus of everyone. I, for one, do not think we should go with that change, Sebek announced, even while Francis was starting to hand out cheddar biscuits to everyone, who gave a nod of thanks. If we show blatant hospitality from the start, the freshmen may think they can walk all over their seniors. Once he was done with the statement, the croc almost comically threw the entire biscuit into his mouth. Oh my, the aspiring cook gasped in surprise. I see where you're coming from, Sebek, but what if we told him it was emergency water, Apple suggested. Claim it's for fire hazards like Grim here. Are you saying to use me as an excuse to get your apple juice promoted day one? Grim shouted, even with a mouthful of cheddar. Wasn't thinking of promoting, but since you brought it up, do not use this ceremony as your advertisement, Housewarden Felmir. I vote for food, Grim snapped. Of course you would, Grim, Jack sighed. Okay, we're putting it to a vote, you interjected. All in favor of handling refreshments to the new students, raise your pens or hands. Ortho raised his hand in place of a pen since his finger had a pen attachment. Grim put up his own paw as well. Francis's pen came up right after, followed by Apple and Ace. It looked to be a tie with Crowley until Mozura also held up his pen. You too, Housewarden? I'm going to say the name wrong again. Abdina? Of course. It can show the caterpillars our influence and resources so that they don't instantly get cocky. Mozura explained. Displaying our abilities will make them think twice before or to never challenge us. Well, they'll learn the hard way anyways, when you have to send them to my door, the ramshackle prefix smirked. And that settles it. And so that we're not arguing over what we're handing to the new students. They shot a glare at everyone to object. No one did. A quick fire question. Cream puffs or biscuits? Biscuits. Surprisingly unanimous. Less mess, Sebek clarified for himself. There we have it, Headmage. You smiled at the Headmage, who now just wanted to slump into his office chair. If he thought the Overblot year had molted his feathers, this generation will ensure they never grow back. And there you have it. There you have it. What a lovely little fic. Thank you so much for future freshies. My, oh my, oh my. How delightful, how delightful. I love everybody becoming housewardens. And it seems like your OCs are going to be quite interesting as well. So thank you for your lovely submission. I think it is time, though, that perhaps we do another one, another fanfic. We want one more. We want another. We want another. Let's see what we got. Alrighty, next up we have. Ooh, oh, that was really close, but it's gonna be you and the 7 Housewardens. You and the 7 Housewardens. Oh, another of Peepaw's. Oh my, Peepaw. The wheel favors you yet again. It does. Alrighty, let's pop that up real quick. Let us see what there is to see. And then we shall be getting on. Alrighty. Alright. Yeah, I have no control over the wheel, man. I got no control. It has its own mind and it does its own thing. So this one is, ooh, it's multi-pairing. So we have another Twisted Wonder one. You and the 7 Housewardens. We have Azul and Riddle as a pairing in this one. And we also have Vil and you. Other tags include you, Grim, Riddle, Leona, Azul, Kaleem, Vil, Edia, and Malleus. This is a twist event idea. This is a Snow White themed event. Gender neutral you. You is player centric. House Wardens are fighting. Storybook event. Vil is constantly reminded of Nej, and Vil needs a hug. So that is all the tags for this one, you and the 7 House Wardens. I'm going to take another sip of my... This is also chapter 1, so this will be a multi-chapter thing. I'm going to take another sip of my tea, and then we will continue into the you and the 7 House Wardens. Okay, I will admit that was a little bit more than just a sip. But we're good, we're good. I'm refreshed. I'm ready to read a fic. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. If any of y'all want Silver No to read your fics, just let me know. And then he will come on and he will read the fic. I totally forget, but only for the fic that you yourself have written. If you submitted a fic that somebody else read, it's gonna be me. But if you wrote it, then yes, Silver No can read it instead of me. If you would like. You want Rat Boss? How did I know you were gonna want Rat Boss? I completely forgot that was a thing, but yes. All right, let me go get him. Let me go get him. Hold on. Lovely folks on this lovely little community day stream. Hello, it is I, Silver No. I am the carnival marker for the carnival, and I shall be here to read you and the 7 House Wardens, as was requested by the author of the fiction. Hello. I shall do my best to read this as beautifully as possible. So let us begin, yes, let us begin. Why did you always have to get dragged to do things at this stupid magic school? They questioned their life choices as they held on to Grim like the overactive toddler he was. Grim squirmed as you looked through books of various comics Adus had told them about as they wandered through the book fair. I promise I won't run off again. I want to believe you, Grimmy, but every time you run off in search of food. I promise on my honor as a great mage to stay put, Grim swears, placing his paw in the air. You sighed and gently placed him down as a cheery voice greeted them. You, Grim, hey. Kaleem, the two said in unison as the Sunshine Boy scooped Grim into his arms. Vil stood beside Kaleem, looking gorgeous as usual. What are you doing at a book fair together? And where's Jamil? Grim asked as Kaleem gave him a squeeze. He went to get something to eat for Kaleem. He trusted me with ensuring Kaleem doesn't do anything too drastic. They were accompanying me on my trip here. I was looking for books on Scalding Sands fashion from a few days ago. I need them for the Film Clan's new project we're producing. So Jamil and I are the experts on this situation since it's stuff our mums and grandpas wear. Kaleem beamed as Vil nodded. Suddenly, Riddle appeared, but he was dragging Edia behind him. I see we're not the only house wardens who decided to show up at the book fair. And you, it is nice to see you as well, Riddle greeted as you dragged Edia closer. Why are you torturing me like this, Riddle? Edia whined as Riddle gripped on his arm, tightened. Because Kutvagas recommended we both find a copy of the book he recommended to help us improve our athletic prowess. We can't neglect PE, it is vital to our education, Riddle lectured as Lydia groaned. Curse, author, for letting you drag me out of my room. I saved up all gems and keys to guarantee I put an SSR on the mobile game I play. The card just got released on the server. Lydia continued to bemoan as Riddle just looked confused by his gaming jargon. Oh, great, you're here too, Leona sighed as he approached the group. Not sleeping in somewhere, Leona? That's quite unlike you. Another voice spoke up. You turned and saw Malleus approaching with his Zool in tow. Indeed, usually you'd be napping the day away. According to Sebek's accounts of seeing you around the school, Malleus smirked as Leona glared at him. Hey, look at that. I guess the Dragon Prince really isn't a social pariah. Congrats on taking 2 steps off Night Raven College's campus. Must be nice to mingle with us commoners. Leona gave an exaggerated bow to Malleus, who just pouted and crossed his arms. You watched all the house wardens talking amongst themselves, but they suddenly became very aware of someone, or rather, a lack of someone. Halim was no longer holding Grim. You looked around but looked up as they heard Leona. Oi, Grim, don't just go grabbing random books, the lion roared. But it was too late. Grim had opened up the book as you and the house wardens were engulfed in a white light. When you woke up, they were on the ground in the middle of the woods. They sat up, heads spinning as they looked around. Grim was still sitting up, a cute red and blue bow around his neck. Even his mage stone was now shaped like an apple. Human, what happened? Grim whined as he hopped into Yu's lap. Where are we? Azul groaned as he looked around. That's when you noticed that they were with the house wardens who were also getting to their feet. Oi, herbivore, when did you get changed? You suddenly looked down. They were in a blue long-sleeved top with red embroidered sleeves, with a creamy pair of yellow pants that cut off at the ankle. They also had a cute yellow kitten heels with a bow on the top of the shoe. As they stood, they noticed they were also wearing a cape, and the exterior was blue, but the interior fabric was cherry red. I don't remember getting changed. Will looked annoyed. The outfit reminded him of that pest he could never seem to get rid of. Still, he helped you stand. As they assessed the situation, Kaleem pointed to a cabin. Hey, look, let's see if anyone is home. Maybe we can get some help. Beat standing out here in the woods with no Wi-Fi. Let us go. It looks like it's getting dark, Edie sighed as he began patting his pocket. He grabbed his phone and checked it. Figures there'd be no bars here among all these useless trees. They literally make oxygen to help you breathe, Idia, Vil says as he stares at Idia. Yeah, but what use is breathing now if I can't watch my anime or do my daily checks? Everyone just stared at him for a moment before they began marching toward the cabin. As they got closer, you recognized that cabin. They had seen it before several times, actually. It was the cabin they examined when they gathered to get the mage stone from the dwarf mine. But what was it doing here? You're squinting, child of man. Are you having trouble seeing? No, this cabin is just... never mind. They waved their hand decisively as they opened the door. It was human-sized, unlike the cabin you had seen. Everything was scaled correctly, but the layout was the same. You silently looked around as Vil and the others complained about how dusty everything was. They went upstairs and saw 8 beds right next to each other, almost like they were expecting them. You ran their hand over the bed sheets as the others came up. At least we have a place to sleep tonight. That's good news, I suppose, Azul said as he examines the beds. There's food in the fridge and pantry, Kaleem called from downstairs, so we won't starve, and I hope the people that live here don't mind. This place has no Wi-Fi, Lydia cried. What kind of people live here and don't have Wi-Fi? What's wrong with them? I could ask that about the state of the living room downstairs, Vil sighs as he rolls up his sleeves. However, I suppose that we shall clean up this place if we intend to stay the night. Cleaning? Yeah, have fun with that. Tell me when you are done. Leona yawned as he stretched and lay down across the row of beds. Leona, you're not just gonna lie here while we all clean, Vil sighed as he accidentally stepped on Leona's tail with his heel. He let out an annoyed growl as he glared at Vil. Just have the lizard clean it with magic. Work smarter, not harder, Leona growled as he motioned to Mally's. How would that be fair? And what a bad example you're setting for your dorm, Leona. Although I suppose you aren't used to picking up a broom, given you have Butchie do everything for you. Tell me, does he feed you as well? Malleus asked with a playful smirk on his face. Oh, yeah, I bet I could clean this place better than any of you, Leona declared as he stood up. Well, I suppose I can't let Octavinel be outdone by the likes of you, Leona-san, Vil smirked as he adjusted his glasses. You silently watched the house wardens decide to turn cleaning the cabin into a whole dorm-wide competition. Grim tugged their cape. Come on, minion, get to cleaning. We can't let ramshackle be lacking. Who smiled, grabbed a broom, and decided to join in on the cleaning war. And there you have it. There you have you and the 7 house wardens by Tilly Vandam on AO3. Thank you so much for having me here to read your fic. I am very, very happy that you have chosen my presence. Although unfortunately I do have to give back the stream to Silvernoct until there is such time as someone else would like their fic read in my lovely little voice. So thank you for having me, but I shall be going now. Perhaps I shall see you all again before stream ends, or perhaps not. We shall see. But bye-bye for now. Hello, hello, hello again. Did we enjoy this little fic? My, oh my, I sure hope so. I did catch a message in the chat while he was reading that was talking about having the closed captions up. The reason I don't do that for fanfic streams is because the fanfic is literally on stream. I don't know if it's too small to read, but it is partially why I don't do that for these. Because if all the words are already on the screen, having the words again on the screen and having them be inaccurate, because that's how the like live voice thing is, it's extremely inaccurate. I feel like is too much. perhaps. And there's not really any good place for me to put those live captions. So that is why we do not do them for fanfic streams, but we do them for the novel streams, because the novel isn't on screen. And so that is to help with that in particular. But unfortunately, that will not be happening for these specific streams. But you are more than welcome to look up these fanfictions and then read them alongside me if you would like. That is always an option available to you. And I think in the past I did link the fics in the description, but I think someone then didn't want me to do that, so then I stopped doing that. So I don't know. Or there was like an issue with one of the links linking to something that it shouldn't. It was a time, but that is why. And that I'm not going to be adding the captions, unfortunately, for tonight. So, but that bat in French is literally bald mouse. That's exciting. That's a fun time. We're not bald though. We're very fuzzy indeed. We're quite fuzzy still. Fuzzy little critters. We are. We're going to move on to a new fic, another one. Oh my. Let us see what there is to see now. We have Twist Master task failed successfully. This one is somewhere in the list of fics. There we are. Alrighty. Let us look at what this lovely fic has for us. Oh, okay. So alright. This is a Taskmaster UK. I see. Alrighty. Let us go. Here we are. Alrighty. So we have Twisted the video game, obviously, but also Taskmaster, the UK TV show. So in this, we have Kaleem and Azul and Malleus and Leona and Riddle and Vil and Edea, Deuce and you. No romantic relationships. Just everybody's here. We have you, Riddle, Leona, Azul, Kaleem, Vil, Edea, Malleus, Deuce, Knight, Raven College students, etc., etc. We have gender neutral you, they, them pronouns for you. You is players a little shit. Crack treated seriously. Crack inspired by Taskmaster UK. Irresponsible Dyer Crowley. Author is sleep deprived. Bad at summaries. Bad at tagging. Bad at titles. No better. We die like Melanor. R.I.P. Queen. Reality TV, inconsistent updates, I'm sorry, Crack crossover, and then Taskmaster UK references. So, this is going to be very fun. So I guess for wardings, we have Taskmaster UK. I don't really know that there are any wardings, but I suppose maybe it's good to ward of the crossover. The kitties are crying. I think they might just be playing, but I'm gonna go check on them real quick before we start the stream. But this was written by Seven of Spiders. And if you are in chat and you would like Silver No to read instead, let us know, and then he'll come back. Otherwise, it'll be me. Everything is fine. I forgot that sometimes when Valentina sleeps and then she wakes up and she doesn't see me or Gino, she just starts crying. She's like, "Where did everybody go?" That was what was happening. She was like, "I can't find you." So we're all good. We're all good. Nothing bad has happened. Alrighty. Let us see what there is to see in Taskmaster. Chapter 1, Ruggy getting shat on by a bird. There you go, chapter 1. Oh, yeah, they're not here, so okay. So it'll be me. Alright. You watched as Ace and Apple glanced at each other uncomfortably while the magicless prefect mounted the stage. This had started out as a throwaway idea, one done out of spite. If Crowley asked you to do anything for him, they'd make it as big of a hassle as possible. Because what better bonding event could there be but asking the House Wardens to come on a special Twister Wonderland only version of their favorite reality TV show, which was definitely not also slight revenge for how much they'd had to deal with this year. However, this had promptly blown up in their face when the head mage had wholeheartedly endorsed the plan. They'd been forced to plan, film, and now present a full episode of content. You had recruited as many people as they could, and here was the final result. Twisted Taskmaster. They couldn't wait to see how the House Wardens reacted to the challenges they'd set. The stage unveiled itself to the audience. A red raised platform and a smaller stage off to the side. A large screen, courtesy of the Ignihide dorm, had been erected behind the stage. Then a curtain obscured what was beyond that. 7 chairs made an arc on the main stage, then a larger throne and chair next to it. You, the instigator of all this, walked down a small flight of stairs, their unruly black hair actually combed for once with a small purple star clip in their hair. They were wearing a black suit jacket, dress pants, and white formal shirt, with another purple accent, a bow tie this time, and dark red platform boots to top the outfit off. Their black octagonal glasses sparkling and for once not grimy as all get out. They'd really put in an effort for this. Or were forced to by Vil. Whatever, the effect was the same. They spread their arms wide with a smile to the audience's semi-confused applause. Welcome to Twisted Taskmaster, hosted by Night Raven College. The audience cheered in response, and you took their seat in the larger chair, next to which was a small table with an unidentifiable golden object on top of it. I am your host, you, last name redacted. They hefted the golden object, holding it closer to the audience. Whoever had made it had clearly tried, but none could deny it was, well, crap. but it was shiny, and that's what mattered. In my hands is a trophy vaguely shaped like... Actually, I don't know what it's supposed to be shaped like. And our participants will be competing tooth and nail for it today. You placed the trophy back down and did a small jazz hands maneuver. That's right, all 7 of our illustrious, they emphasized illustrious with more than a little sarcasm, House Wardens will be participating in this special round of the show. A spotlight illuminated the stairway you had just come from. Introducing Riddle Roseheart! Riddle stepped his way down the staircase cautiously. His dorm uniform was pristine, the boot ornaments and crown shining in the light. He took his seat on the first of 7 chairs and gave the audience a cursory wave. Leona Kingscholar! In contrast to Riddle's poise, Leona trudged down the staircase, sweeping the hair out of his eyes as he plopped down on the chair next to Riddle's. His tail flicked, acknowledging the audience's cheers. Azul Ashengrotto! Azul cane tapped on each step as he walked down the stairs and took a seat on his chair, crossing his legs elegantly and resting the cane on his knees. He turned to the audience and presented a charming, polished smile. Kaleem Al-Asim! Kaleem bounded down the stairs, taking them 2 at a time. Then he sat down on his chair, jewelry jingling all the way down. He gave the audience and enthusiastically yelled, "Hello!" a wide smile and giant wave. Vil Schoenheit. Vil was perfect, as always. The train of his dorm uniform trailed down the stairs as he took each step like it had been made for him, taking a seat with more grace than Azul and Riddle combined. He nodded at the audience, who cheered louder than ever before for him. Off to the side, Azul scowled slightly. Idia Shroud! Any previous use of scurrying to describe human being was immediately topped by whatever Idia was doing. He curled in on himself as he took the stairs quietly and then sat down on the chair. He didn't give the audience any acknowledgement at all, but a robotic voice could be heard yelling, "You go, Nissan!" And Malleus Draconia. If Vil was poised, Malleus was intimidating. His boots and staff clanked on each stair as he mounted the seat deliberately. He gave the audience a smile that was honestly kind of scary, but everyone was strangely silent save for the section of the stage clothed in green and one large yell of "Waka-sama!" You waited for the cheers to quiet down, then cleared their throat audibly. This was not aided in any way by the microphone clipped to their shirt. And beside me, they did a small drum roll on their knees, and Vil could be seen shaking his head exasperatedly. My assistant that I definitely did not steal from Hearthstable Dorm, Deuce Spade. Deuce sat down in the gold chair to the side of the prefect, waving to the audience. Leona fought back a small snort as Riddle's expression twitched slightly. So, the note you gave me said to prepare some banter with you today, but I'm not sure what that is. Yu's expression went exaggeratedly flat as they stared at Deuce. Seriously? You don't know what banter is? Well, screw me, I thought the Queendom was Fantasy England. I asked Ace, but, well, what did he say? That banter is a doc native to Bryoxine? That's a little... Okay, never mind. He definitely did that. This is good enough. Let's get on with the show. You clapped and then threw their arms wide open, inviting the audience to cheer louder. So, as an explanation, we'll have the House Wardens perform a series of tasks for me to watch without magic. I'll rank them, and at the end, whoever wins will get a trophy. They coughed onto their hand. And remember, they're judged by me and only me. I can place you anywhere I want, no complaining allowed. I've got head mage given privileges. You giggled briefly before trapping Deuce on the shoulder. The House Wardens, even Kaleem, shifted in their seats. But before that, it wouldn't be fun if they were just completely competing for a trophy, right? I mean, hell, some of you are princes, or just ultra rich. You don't care about the trophy, so we'll be doing a prize task first. Deuce, what's the prize category? Deuce glanced at his tablet. The prize is the best photo. Asterisk, keep in mind it's best, not most beautiful. You nodded sagely. Got that? All right, Riddle first. Riddle cleared his throat, then crossed his legs. My entry is a photo of an unbirthday party, one taken last week, and it's the most successful one we've held this year. The photo was projected on screen to the audience's delight. A beautifully framed affair, cakes piled high on the table, an array of sweets, and the golden chair in the middle of it all. Red painted roses framed it elegantly, and Riddle sat in the center, sipping his tea. You seemed delighted. Well, it's certainly pretty, but is it the best? You see. Anyways, Azul, what have you got? Riddle's face reddened, and you casually ignored it, turning their attention to Azul instead. Well, after investigating photography techniques and ideal locations, I took a picture of the Mostro Lounge. It has the perfect golden ratio framing, ideal lighting contrast. Azul was still talking about his photo, but you was no longer paying attention. The photo was good, sure, but it was also kind of plain. It was, in a phrase, cookie-cutter beautiful. However, no one could deny that the lighting was pretty, the light from the jellyfish chandelier casting itself onto the aquarium walls and tables, in addition to the admittedly elegant tables and chairs. Iria? Iria coughed twice into his hands before explaining his photo. Miku Shrine? It's my Miku Shrine. Yes, the Miku Shrine. You smiled and turned to look at the screen. What was pictured was a Miku Shrine, all right. There were figurines, posters, art cards, plushies, light sticks, and other pieces of merch. Truly an otaku's dream. And you was nothing if not an otaku. Peek, Miku is love, Miku is life. Now wait a minute, Azul tried to interrupt, but you moved smoothly onto the next person. Melius? Ahem. When the prize task was announced, I told Lilia, and he immediately grabbed his photo for me. I thought it was suitable for such a category. Me in my infancy! Oh my gosh! The audience hushed as Malleus's photo appeared on screen. It showed a younger Malleus sitting on the bench in some unidentifiable park, probably in Briar Valley. It was dark, they were nocturnal after all, and Malleus seemed to look somewhere around 5 years old. That wasn't completely reliable, after all, you know, because they bullshit. He had held a giant ice cream in like someone was going to take it away from him, the swirl of vanilla and chocolate sparkling in his eyes. His feet didn't even get close to touching the ground, and he wore a black shirt and green shorts that Lilia had probably picked out for him, along with white socks and shiny black Mary Janes. You cooed at the image, clearly the intended effect, as Malleus smiled. There was a collection of noises from the crowd, varying from shocked to enthralled to enthusiastic, that slowly died out with time. Now this is a good photo. You were so cute. Malleus nodded, and for some audience members with the eyes to see, a new OTP was born. No one would question the several fics uploaded at strange times at night, would they? Next, Vil. Vil nodded and raised a perfectly manicured hand to his face. It's from a recent magazine I participated in. The image on screen was a glossy magazine cover, shiny in the light, with a full close-up shot of Vil in the center. He was beautiful, as always, dressed in what was probably haute couture. You didn't know. They were a little shit with no knowledge of fashion to their name, and this wasn't even their world. With elegant makeup that accentuated his best features or something, whatever. They weren't a writer, but the point stood. Vil was pretty. Please don't kill me, oh great Vil. I just don't have a very big vocabulary. The crowd went dead silent as they appreciated the photo, including everyone on the stage. You opened their mouth to say something extremely stupid, but successfully made themselves dissolve into a coughing fit before it could escape. They coughed very peak. Vil seemed slightly off-put, but smiled nonetheless. Go, Kaleem! You made little finger guns at Kaleem, prompting him to start his explanation. It's a photo of me in the Light Music Club where we were practicing a while ago. The photo flashed up on the screen, a blurry picture full of energy, just what you'd expect from the most chaotic club you knew of. Lilia was on his knees, shredding in the background. Kaleem was in blurry focus, and Kader was sat on a table for some strange reason. It was a very spectacular photo, by Yu's standards anyways. Peak cinema. You burst into giggles when the photo popped up, then presented a thumbs up while they tried to collect themselves. Wah, peak ass cinema lamau. Please let me into your club. I can play the keyboard well, I swear. Kaleem gave an enthusiastic nod, then you wiped their laugh tears and turned to Leona, who seemed to be halfway smirking already, the smug-ass bastard. His tail flicked lazily as his photo flashed onto the screen. It was spectacular. The photo had been taken somewhere on a pier. You didn't know exactly where, but that wasn't super relevant to the full experience of the photo. The main focus of it was Ruggy. He was blurred by motion, holding an ice cream with a scoop half falling off the cone. Some kind of bird or animal in motion had swooped down on the hyena beastman, presumably to, well, take a dump on him, as indicated by the white splat bearing down on the second ear, and the entire thing was framed at an angle that seemed like the photographer, Leona, probably, was laughing so hard he could barely keep the phone steady. Is Ruggy getting shat on by a bird? You guffawed even louder than they had at Kaleem's photo. The audience could be heard laughing as well, maybe even louder than you was. And Yu's laugh was loud, like witch cackle loud. It fed off of the audience, creating a nearly 5-minute-long period of laughing from you. Eventually, they squeaked out something actually coherent. Ruggy getting shat on. Leona nodded smugly. You cleared their throat. So anyways, let me rank these real quick. I think I already know who's going first. They drummed their fingers against the chair, while Deuce sat ready to write down the prefix verdict. Joint last place, Riddle and Azul. There was a twin exclamation from both house wardens, who then seemed to turn and snap at each other for their unison and then turned to look away from each other with what may have been frustration. Azul opened his mouth, probably to object, but you shushed him with a but. They were okay photos, I guess. But the thing is, they're just pretty plain, nothing else. You continued. Next, 3 points for Kaleem. Kaleem took the verdict with grace, smile never dimming. The jewelry he wore clinked as he nodded. Alrighty. You clicked their tongue again loudly. Please don't kill me, Vil. Vil raised an eyebrow as you swallowed. Idia and Vil joined forth. It was Idia's turn to be confused, and he creaked out a surprise noise. Probably at the rating. Maybe he thought it was too high? Whatever, not Yu's problem. They made their choice. Then Malleus takes second. Malleus tilted his head, seemingly happy. You flashed him a thumbs up because they were a nerd and had exactly one default emote. And you know who's first? I'm sorry, everyone, but it's just Ruggy getting shat on by a bird, and nothing will top that, so 7 points to Leona. The audience clapped politely. Leona smirked again, and you spread their arms wide in front of the scores, now fully displayed on the screen, each value along with a photo of the contestant. Riddle 2, Azul 2, Kaleem 3, Idia 5, Vil 5, Malleus 6, Leona 7. And with that, let's see our first proper task. Dun dun dun! My oh my! Thank you so much for submitting Twistmaster task failed successfully. This was quite a delightful one. I do enjoy Taskmaster. I've not seen very much of it, but it is such a funny little show. So I'm glad that this crossover exists. And I am glad that it was quite fun and entertaining as it was. But I think it's time that we perhaps get yet another fanfic. Let us see what there is to see if I can figure out where the wheel went. There it is. Wabam. And we'll get another one here for us today. Let us see. We got... Ooh. Following the happily ever after. Okie dokie. This one is written by our lovely Nerdy. Nerdy, do you want Silverno to come and do this, or would you like me to read your fic? Which one? Oh, Taskmaster is a UK. Well, I guess it's not specifically UK, but I think all the ones that I've seen is a UK reality TV show where essentially there's contestants that have a bunch of little tasks that they have to do. And whoever does it the best or does it the most creatively, gets points, and then eventually there's a winner. So there's 3 or 4 tasks, maybe 5, It might be one of the ones I saw was you have to get this ball up a hill, but you can't roll it or touch it, there's little, things you got. Some people get really creative. Some people, do whatever. There was one where I think they had, a little GPS on their phone, and it gave them, so many steps, and they were in, a rugby field, and they had to make a picture by walking on the field, and whoever had the best picture got points, like little things like that. So they get a task, and whoever masters the task gets the points and then eventually wins. And the task master decides who gets the points and like who wins the things. So it's a very entertaining show if you haven't seen it before. But it is the UK one has dry humor, you know, UK humor. It's very fun. It's very fun. But yeah, all right. Prefer me read it? Okie dokie. Gotcha. Alrighty, well in that case, we have following the happily ever after. We have lots and lots of tags. Some of them are cut off. But we have Grim and you, the player, Apple and Jack as a pairing, Azul and Jamil as a pairing, Leona and Yiddy as a pairing, Deuce and Ace, Trey and Cater, and Riddle and Deuce and Ace, Ruggy and Jack and Leona, Azul and Floyd and Jade, Colleen and Jamil, Apple and Rook and Vil and Idia and Ortho and Malleus and Silver and Lilia and Sebek and Silver and Lilia. We have you, Ace, Deuce, Cater. I'm not gonna reread the names. Y'all know the Twist Boys. Dire Crowley is also included. This is a Dark Curse OUAT. So, out alternate universe today, I assume is what that stands for. Curse breaking a female you out of character. Is it an out of character alternate universe timeline? Is that what that means? Is that, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that that's what that is. Once Upon a Time? The show Once Upon a Time. Okay, so this is a crossover. So Once Upon a Time, a team crossover. Got it. And then we had a couple of relationships, right? So this should probably be good to have. We have Apple and Jack, Azul, Jamil, and then Leona, Idia. Idia with one D, please. Curse breaking, lore relevant reasons, I promise. Romantic subplots, the Twist Boys get sent to Earth, Once Upon a Time style, and now you has to fix it. Abusive relationships. Abusive relationships. Oh my. Part of the story is removing the abusive relationships. Crowley being a dick. You has to fix everything. No better, we die, like, spoiler. Somebody did die, but don't worry, they got better. I see. This is a 15 chapter fic. It is completed. It is a 15 out of 15. I assume that this is fully written. Yeah, Ernie? Yes? No? Maybe so? I'm presuming that's what that means. It's all done. Okay. I should put it was and fix. Okay, there we are. So I think that covers all the tags, basically. And so here we are. All right. So the U is Emma Yukimura. So that is our U in this particular fiction. And so we will be reading only chapter 1, but if you would like to, oh, none of the ships here are the abusers. Okay, hold on. But none of the ships are the abusive. Okay. All right, there we go. That should clear that up, right? That should clear that up. Alrighty. Okay. It had been 8 years since Emma Yukimura had left Twisted Wonderland. In that time, she'd finished high school, gone to college, and had started making a comic on the side. The main characters of the comic bore an uncanny resemblance to Ace and Deuce, and her villainous organization seemed remarkably similar to the Overblots she'd fought. But no one was there to catch her flagrant copyright violation. She thought about them often. She told herself it was just a dream, but it couldn't have been. They felt so real, so complicated, but it couldn't have been real. No, it was just a dream. That's what she told herself, anyway. She told herself this until one day after work she was watching Disney movies while she worked on her comic when she heard scratching. She turned off Pinocchio, silently noting Honest John's similarity to a certain fox-like honest fellow, and swallowed the noise. As she got closer to her apartment door, it got louder, until she was standing in front of her door and it sounded perfectly clear. Gently, she opened the door. Sitting in the hallway was a cute gray short-haired cat with big blue eyes and a fluffy white stomach, and for some reason, some twisted reason, Emma seemed to recognize the cat. Grim? The cat just meowed, walking inside the apartment like he owned the place, as most cats did. Emma shut the door behind her and followed the cat. The cat jumped onto the kitchen counter. Emma approached him gently, reaching for his collar. It was neon blue to match his eyes. Serby, if lost, please return to Anthony Woods, on 153 Ignihide Lane, Storybook, New Jersey. Emma looked at the cat, then back at the tag. Serby, huh? The cat shook his head furiously, meowing repeatedly. So then, what's your name, then? The cat tapped Emma's hand. Are you Grim? The cat meowed excitedly. This can't be, Emma insisted. No, it was all a dream, Grim meowed again. Emma shook her head. Whether this cat was Grim or not, she had to bring him back. To Anthony. Who was Anthony? Emma had no idea, but he must have been worried sick. I'm gonna take you back to your owner, Emma said. She packed up her purse and went to the door. Grim loyally followed her. She found it after a bit of a drive. Storybook, seemingly just a small town in New Jersey. It was evening when she got there. Emma turned to Grim, who was going cat things in the passenger seat. This is your owner's house? Grim meowed again. Emma shook her head. It was weird that he didn't talk. Emma popped out of the car. She pulled Grim out with her and approached the front door. She rang the doorbell and waited. You really came all the way to my apartment for what? Emma asked. Grim did not respond. He had an almost confident grin on his smug little cat face. The door opened, and Emma almost dropped the cat in shock. The man at the door had the same pale skin, thin eyes, slim face, and permanent miserable frown on his face. But his yellow eyes had dulled to hazel, and his blue flaming hair had been cut and turned brown. He looked shockingly normal. There he is, Edius smiled. Oh, thank you so much. I've been looking for him all over town. Edia took Grim into his arms. Where did you run off to? New York, Emma said. New York? Edia gasped. Oh, you tiny devil. He turned back to Emma. Where are my manners? I'm Anthony Woods. Emma Yukimura, she introduced, but she was deeply confused. Why was Edia here? In New Jersey, of all places. Is there anything I can give you to repay you? Edia/Anthony asked. No, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Don't be, he said. If you stay in Storybrooke, I'll promise I'll treat you to a drink or something. Edia closed the door and Emma was frozen in shock. This place wasn't normal, was it? Emma drove away from Edia's house and back onto the main street of the town. She parked the car in front of an antique shop. Across the street was a diner simply labeled Georgina's. Emma crossed the road and stepped inside. The faces around her were vaguely familiar, but the most important thing to her was the argument happening at the bar. For the love of Christ, can you just wear your uniform next shift? Complained the diner manager, a figure that looked suspiciously like Azul. His hair was more natural black color, but that was the only difference. Why should I? Responded the waiter, dressed in jeans and a red flannel. Other than that, he looked remarkably like Apple. His purple hair remained the same, but it had a look of a fresh dye job. You're infringing on my First Amendment right. Luke, come on. Who cares? Apple complained. He turned, having noticed Emma, and put on a customer service smile. Hi, what can I do for you? Menu, I guess. Apple led her to a booth and gave her a menu. It was nothing like the Mostro Lounge menu Emma expected, considering Azul's presence, and not a single Apple item either. Emma ordered a cheeseburger and a milkshake. Apple hurried the order to the chef. As he did, 2 motorcycles parked in front of the diner. Apple got very excited as Deuce and Jack came inside the diner, both in Viker vests, spiked jewelry, and jeans. Deuce, his hair appeared to have once been black, but now was bleached blonde. Jack's hair was now black too, and curlier. Apple rushed up to Jack and kissed him on the lips. Hey, darling. Hey, babe, Jack said. You must be tired from working all day. Apple gasped. Oh, no, I'm... Cat? Speaking of cats, cat? There's a rustling happening in the room and I don't know where it's coming from. Hello? Cat? Cat? Oh, okay. I know. What are you doing? Where are you? Oh, I didn't know that you. I see. I see. Now I know what was fault. And now she's playing with the receipt. She's playing with the receipt. She's playing with it behind the bookshelf. And now I know what the loud noise the other day was. She pulled one of my little bags down. I see now. I was concerned because the noise was not something I was familiar with, but now I see. Anyway, where was I? Apple kissed Jack. Hey, babe, Jack said. You must be tired from working all day. Apple gasped. Oh, I'm fine. My feet are just so tired. Why don't you carry me out of here? Azul appeared to protest, but Jack had already scooped Apple into his arms and was walking out the door. Azul held his head in frustration. Emma and Deuce shared a look as Deuce followed them out the door. When Emma's food was ready, Azul handed it to her himself. Rough day? Emma asked. Azul groaned. He's so annoying. Running off with that stupid, reckless boyfriend of his. Jack and Apple are dating? Azul's face morphed. Jack and Apple? No, Cameron and Luke. Right, Emma managed. And what's your name, if I may ask? Patrick Clemens, Azul said. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Yukimura. Emma Yukimura. Right, Azul said. Are you staying in town or just visiting? Emma paused. The people from Twisted Wonderland were here in her world. How? And why did they all have new names and why were they acting so weirdly? Hey, Azul looked out the window. Your car's the gray one, right? Emma raised an eyebrow. Yeah? Someone's stealing your tires. Oh no. Oh, this is my worst fear, man. This is my worst fear. I just going out to my car one day and my tires are all gone. Like, Emma jumped up and rushed out the door, running to her car. Hey! Emma shouted. She couldn't believe the sight before her. Malleus Draconia, Prince of the Briar Valley, one of the most powerful mages in Twisted Wonderland, was stealing her tires? Malleus stood up. He still towered over her, but his horns had disappeared. His ears were normal shape, and his vibrant, terrifying green eyes had mellowed out. Ah, Malleus smiled. This your car? Emma placed a hand over her purse. Listen, I don't want trouble, but just put the tires back and I won't call the police. Malleus laughed. Do you think the police scare me? Really? What are tires going to do for you? Are you that desperate for money? Malleus chuckled. Nah, it's pretty fucking funny though. You should see the look on your face. Emma was still processing Malleus's first swear word when Malleus went to take the third tire. I have pepper spray and I know judo, Emma said. Get the hell away. Malleus stood up more annoyed than anything. Listen, sugar tits, Emma grabbed her pepper spray from her purse and sprayed Malleus's stupid face. Fuck, lady, Malleus recoiled, dropping the tool he had been using. As he regained sight, Malleus ran off and Emma assessed the damage. Need me to call a mechanic? Azul called out to put tires back on your car? What? That would be great, Emma said. Taking tires on and off your car is not as hard. I mean, if you don't have the little like automated gun thingy-mabobber to take the nuts off the bolts to get the tire off of the wheel well, then it's a little bit harder to do manual labor. But Malleus dropped the thing he was using. You can put them back on your car. Like it's not that difficult. You put the wheel on and then you tighten all the little nuts and bolts and then you got a wheel on your car. It's fine. Does she know how to use it though? Yeah, I guess that's fair. I suppose that's fair. Moral of the story is learn how to change your tires if you ever need to. Learn how to put your tires back on your car. Because listen. And one day you may be going down the road and you may pop a tire, and then you need to put your spare tire on. And if you need to put the spare tire on, you're going to need to know how to put a tire on your car. You at least know like mentally the steps you have to take to change a tire. If nothing else. If no, you don't have a spare tire, you might want to get a spare tire. So that if your tire ever goes kaput, you can, at least get your car to a mechanic or a gas station or something. But anyway, mechanics coming to fix the tires, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. It's fine. Oh, my. Emma finished her meal as she waited for the mechanic to show up. When he did, she was pleasantly surprised to see it was a familiar lion. Leona's physical appearance stayed about the same, but like Malleus, his eyes had dulled to a more natural shade. Maybe he was a bit more muscled and dirty. Leona grumbled. Sorry about that. Davy's a bit of a rapscallion. Yeah, Emma said. So, you're the town mechanic? Yep. Leona stood up. Name's Sam Irons. Emma. Leona looked at the car. If you're in a hurry, I can get this done now, but it'll charge extra. No, Emma said. I think I'll be staying in town for a while. Leona smiled. There's a bed and breakfast down the road. Take a left. Ask somebody if you need it. This town is usually friendly. Usually? Emma asked. I'd keep that pepper spray on you. Thanks, Leona. Thanks, bud. You a real one. Emma started walking. It was a bit run down, almost rustic in appearance, but Emma didn't mind. It was still leagues above ramshackle or her own apartment with a leaky faucet and broken water heater. The man at the desk she recognized as Moses Train, but by now she'd learned not to assume. He introduced himself as Anthony Driscoll and gave her a key to her room. How long do you plan on staying, he asked. Emma pondered for a moment. Just a few days. The next morning, Emma walked around town trying to get a grasp of this place. There were all these things you'd expect from a small town. Emma had been in the big city so long she almost forgot how cozy the environment was. Instead of driving around, she elected to hop out of the car and walk around Main Street instead. Isn't her car not fixed? Isn't that the whole reason that Leona did the thing? I'm confused now. Azul and Patrick and Luke were getting into another argument in front of the diner, and Luke's shorts had somehow gotten shorter. There was a cute little flower shop 2 storefronts down from the diner, and Emma could recognize Kaleem and Trey inside. It was harder to recognize them as both their hair and eye colors had changed to more natural tones. Kaleem's hair was black with big brown eyes like a deer, and Trey's hair was dark brown with hazel eyes. Across the street was a tired-looking caterer dressed in a fine suit. He was standing in front of a bank, and by his outfit she could tell he worked there. There was an animal shelter on her side of the road, a hair salon next door. Across the street were news offices and a library at the corner. Emma decided to check that out. Surely she'd run into someone smart at the library. She entered the building. She at first didn't see anybody she recognized. There was a woman returning a book up front, but Emma didn't immediately recognize her. But as she stepped further into the library, she saw him. Ace Trapala. And though his spiked red hair had combed into well-combed curls, and his devilish red eyes turned brown, Emma would be able to recognize him anywhere. He looked up, and in a shockingly friendly voice asked, "Hello, can I help you? How can I help you? How? How isn't that sentence as well?" Emma tried her best to regain her composure. I'm new in town. I'm wondering if you can tell me anything about this place. Ace stood up. Oh, of course. Can I have your name, please? Emma gave her name to a person she already knew for the nth time in the span of 2 days. Ace just nodded. I'm Gabe Mullins. I run the library. I hope you didn't come here for excitement. Our town's pretty uneventful. He chuckled. Of course, that has its appeal. Where are you from, Miss Yukimura? NYC. Ah, someone came all the way from the Big Apple to visit this little town? I'm flattered. But I should warn you, it's not as crazy as New York. Just a small town drama, that's all. He stood up and looked out a window. Nothing big ever happens here. Not since... He said it with hesitation. But Emma wasn't going to let him just leave it at that. Since what? Ace looked up. There's a kid in the hospital. He He was found in the woods with nothing on him but his clothes. He's still comatose after 8 years. Emma frowned. That's tragic. It is, Ace said. That's the last time anything happened in this town. Just petty drama and low-level crime. Emma heard the door open but chose to focus on Ace. Any crime is bad. Well, no town is perfect, and if it's just biker kids grafting the church or some ruffian slashing tires, I think we're... Oh no, don't tell me that Malleus is gonna go from stealing tires to slashing tires. He's gonna have a full arc, isn't he? My, what do we have here? Emma turned to face the new voice. The figure in front of her was pale, with a sinister grin Emma immediately recognized, despite never having seen the top half of his face. The voice also helped. It was Crowley, dressed in a normal suit and tie, but without his hat and mask. His eyes were yellow, and he looked at Emma as if he knew her. As if he knew she knew. Ooh. Mr. Mayor, Ace jumped. What brings you here? Oh, I'm just checking in on our public works, he turned to Emma. Who might you be, young lady? My name's Emma Yukimura, she said, scanning the crow up and down. Crowley smiled. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Yukimura. I am Mayor Dar Crowley. Oh, so his name didn't change, huh? Everyone else had a fake name except Crowley, huh? Not suspicious at all. Tell me, how long do you plan on staying in our town, Miss Yukimura? As long as I need to, Emma said. Then by all means, Crowley said. You are of course welcome in our little town. Like I said, I suggest checking out our public works. May I suggest you volunteer at our little hospital? Emma froze. The hospital? If you want my recommendation, I'd advise you to visit around 5 or 6. That's when the father comes in. I think you'll find him quite charming. And since Mr. Mullins thinks little John Doe is so important, maybe you should pay him a visit. Sure? Emma was frozen in shock. Crowley walked past her, standing next to Ace. I wish to speak to you alone, Mr. Mullins. Oh, no. I don't like this. Right, Mr. Mayor. Ace started walking away. Have a splendid day, Mrs. Yukimura, Crowley said as he left. I expect we'll see each other again shortly. Emma didn't like listening to Crowley. After a year of doing his work for him, she'd grown to utterly despise the rat with wings. Yet here she was, standing in front of the hospital. Somehow, she felt he was leading her to somewhere. To what, to whom, she had no clue. But it was the only lead she really had. And honestly, she wanted to see as many of her old frenemies as possible. The first familiar face she saw when she entered was Riddles. He was in a nurse's scrubs, and it made Emma's heart melt. He didn't want this. He wanted to be a lawyer. Can I help you, miss? Riddle asked. Emma put on a good face. I'm here to visit someone. Are you also here to volunteer? Riddle asked. Yes, Emma said. Riddle nodded. There's not much left to do, but I can grab you something to do real quick. Riddle rushed away and back. There's some food for a patient in room 114. And if you'd like, there's some flowers for the patients in the coma ward. The fact that, she just walked in and was like, hi, I would like to volunteer. And they were like, yes, please, give this food to a patient, random stranger we have never seen before and did not run a background check on and do not know if you are here to commit crimes. Please take this food to one of our patients and also bring the flowers to the coma patient so that the plot can progress. There's not much to do, but we are so desperate we're not going to ask any questions. This is not a fault of your writing at all. This 100% would probably happen. It is true. It is led by Crowley. There is magic happening. It does not need to follow the rationales of the real world. I just think it's so funny. Anyway. Emma nodded. She didn't like the idea of working in a hospital. She always found sick people disgusting, and the clinical feeling made her dizzy. Still, she needed to find people. She took the tray and made her way to room 114. Inside was another familiar face, Sebek. He was in a police officer's uniform, which Emma guessed made sense, but it really should have been Deuce. Not that she wanted Deuce to be in the hospital, but she knew Deuce wanted to be a law-abiding good boy. And now he was in a two-man biker gang. The poor boy. Hey, Sebek said, you must be new in town. Yeah, indeed. Emma introduced herself again. Sebek's fake name was Seth Hawthorne. Officer in training, Sebek said. I injured my leg during work. Nothing big, but I should be out of here tomorrow. Emma nodded, gave him his food, and went to take the flowers to the Como ward. As she walked, she heard a familiar, cheerful voice reading a fairy tale. And the prince, having slayed the terrible dragon, entered the sleeping palace, Lilia's voice read. The ward was separated from the rest of the hospital by a clear glass wall and door. Lilia was in a priest's collar. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought when Crowley said father. I was like, the father? The father. I was like, that doesn't make any sense if they don't know where the boy is, so it must just be father. The priest. The Catholic priest. Well, I guess he doesn't have to be Catholic. He could be any any denomination. But the priest, I see. Well, if he's in a Roman collar, then he's probably Catholic. Lilia was in a priest's collar, reading a book of fairy tales at the bed of the only person in the ward. It was Silver. Oh, so Silver's... Oh, okay, that makes sense. His hair was unchanged, the only difference being his slightly more pale skin. A breathing mask was affixed over his mouth and nose, and various tubes were plugged into his arms. He almost looked peaceful. Emma wanted to tell herself it was normal. Lily was just reading his son a bedtime story. Silver was just sleeping. He slept all the time. Sure. Surely. No, nothing else in this world made sense. Why was he... Can I help you, child? Emma looked at Lilia. His pink streaks had disappeared, and his magenta eyes had turned dark brown. I'm just here to give him some flowers, Emma said. She placed a small vase next to Silver's bed. Do you know him? Lilia shook his head. No one does. Emma looked at Silver, the idea that Lilia didn't recognize his own son. I hope he wakes up soon, Lilia said. He deserves to wake up. If God in his mercy can... Lilia stopped. I'm sure he'll wake up soon. Emma managed to smile. My name's Emma. I'm new in town. Father Adam Riley. Emma tried not to throw up at the thought of Lilia being a priest. If you need anything, our doors are open, Lilia said. If you don't mind, I'd like to finish the story. Of course not. Emma left the room, a bitter taste in her mouth. Emma opened the door to her room at the B&B to find Grim there again. You missed me already? Grim meowed. Emma picked up Grim. All right, you can stay, but you have to go back to Edia when we're done. Grim meowed in disgruntled agreement. Emma sat down on her bed where her laptop was, with Grim nesting in her lap. So everyone I knew at NRC has been sent to Earth somehow, and they've lost their memories and are living under fake identities that they probably wouldn't be very happy with. Meow twice if I got that right. Grim meowed twice. But how? Emma asked. Do you know Grim? Grim meowed again, frustrated by his inability to speak. He wiggled out of Emma's lap and started typing on her laptop. I do not know everything, but I know Crowley responsible. Yeah, I got that part, Emma said. So what do I do to fix it? Grim typed again. IDK. Great. Just great. Grim typed more. It not just NRC, it All Sage Island. Everybody, even RSA and Foothill Town? Grim meowed. All right. Emma took a deep breath. Type what you know happened. Slowly. And there you have it. The first chapter of Following the Happily Ever After. My oh my. Of course Crowley did this. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he have done this? Why wouldn't he have done this? My oh my oh my. What a fun time. But thank you so much for submitting this fic. If anyone would like to finish or continue the rest of the fic, given that it has more than one chapter, you're more than welcome to do so on your own time. But for now, I think, that we have time for yet another fic. That is the plan. I just forgot to mark this one as read, so I'm going to do that real quick. And then we're going to grab another one, another fiction. What do we have in store for us today? Let us find out. We have... Ooh, Cecilia, it is you. It is the one that you wanted, I think, to be read. I wasn't paying as much attention to stuff before when the stream was, you know, loading. But this Princess on Parade Ballroom Chaos. I believe this is the second chapter of your thingy, I think. Perhaps, potentially. I believe this is chapter 2, right? Chapter 2? Is this not the one that you wanted us to read? I am waiting. I'm waiting for confirmation. In fact, well, chapter 2, yes. This is yes. Yes, chapter 2, yes. So yeah, so we're good. So we're fine, right? We're fine. This is fine. This is what you want, right? But ballroom is another? Oh, I see. Oh, so do you want you and having multiple things for your one thing. Okay, do you want me to read chapter 2 or ballroom? It landed on ballroom. But I think you wanted chapter 2 read though, right? Yes or no? Okay, so you want chapter 2. Okay. So what I'm gonna do then is I'm going to I'm gonna remove ballroom, and then if we get chapter 2 at another point in time, that'll be ballroom, and it'll be super confusing for me, but it'll be fine. You just have to remind me that that's what we did. And it'll be your fic anyway, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okie dokie. No. That's fine. That's fine. Would you like me to read this one, or would you like Silvernote to read this one? Also, I'm gonna have to go get myself a little bit of a drinky drink because I ran out of tea, and my throat's starting to hurt because, you know, reading straight does that. But you let me know, me or Silvernote. You're not gonna meow, are you? No, but you will cuddle. You'll cuddle, yeah? Yeah? My. Please, I read it. Oh, he wants down. He did not want to cuddle. And now I'm dying. Perfect time for some seltzer. Alrighty, Princes on Parade, Chapter 2. So in a previous stream, we read the first chapter of this fic. But then you submitted this one as a second, so you can do that. If you want me to read Chapter 2 of your fic, it just has to be submitted separately, and it counts as its own thing. But this one is, I believe this is your OCs, and they're trying to find someone to get married off to in an alternate universe, because they need to take over the kingdom or something, if I remember correctly. And the first chapter was basically all of the Twist Boys arriving and the initial, like, lookies at one another. So this is continuing off of that, essentially. So this is not only Twist, but also kind of the original movies. So you have original characters, original female characters, original male characters. Ooh, excuse me. The Queen of Hearts is here. The King of Hearts is here. Riddle, Trey, Kader, Chenya. The Sultan is here. Jasmine is here. Kaleem, Jafar, Jamil, Najma, Maleficent, Malleus, Lilia, Silver, Aurora, Sebek, Scar, Mufasa, Ursula, Evil Queen, Huntsman, Rook Hunt, Ethelfalmir, Vil, Nej, Jade, Floyd, Georgina, Azul, Felina, Leona, Cheka, Hades, Edia, Ortho, EDN Ortho's mom. This is an alternate universe canon divergent inspired by Disney. We have a soft Malleus Draconia, cute Riddle Rose Hearts. Tags may change. Other additional tags to be added. Self-indulgent. Fun. Kaleem is a ray of sunshine. Good parent Queen of Hearts. Bad parent Jafar. Parent Maleficent. Good parent Maleficent. Background Trey. Parent Lilia. Disney references scars called Taka. Alive Ortho Shroud. Parent Hades. Good parent Hades. Parent Scar. So, I don't know exactly what to do for the warning, but I guess, Disney is real. Villains are parents. There we go. Oh, and then it's an alternate universe. Alternate universe with OCs. Alrighty, I think that I think that covers any potential warning, I suppose. Basically, everybody's here. Everybody's here from all the timelines. We're all here. Everybody's alive. Everything's great. Everything's perfect. Everything is amazing. And that's what we are doing. That's what we're doing today. That's what's going on. All right, so Prince is on Parade, Chapter 2. Continuation of Chapter 1. So if you weren't here for the other stream, it might be a little confusing, but we're fine. Alright, a couple more sips of my beverage and we'll get started. Alrighty. This time, when the grand doors opened for the 4th time that evening. Oh, I see. I see. So we did not get through all of the boys last time, I don't think. This is the continuation, so we'll get some of the other boys here. Got it. Perfect. This time, when the grand doors opened for the 4th time that evening, a rush of salty air swept through the hall, sharp and unmistakable. The delegation that entered was small but impossible to ignore. At its head was a plump woman draped in an elegant, darkly opulent gown, jewels glittering like treasures dredged from the sea's depths. On her right stood a charming young man with neatly styled pastel lavender hair. His sharp eyes gleamed with intelligence and calculation, his pleasant smile practiced to near perfection. Trailing behind them were 3 tall figures who immediately shifted the room's atmosphere. A statuesque woman in a sleek, shadow-colored gown walked with composed confidence. On either side of her were 2 young men who bore an unmistakable resemblance to her. Twins, clearly. One wore a polite yet deeply unsettling smile, mirrored by his mother's own. The sort of smile that suggested amusement at a joke no one else was privy to. The other twin, however, looked thoroughly unimpressed. His expression bored to the point of irritation, as though he had been dragged here against his will. Once they reached the royal family, the ritual of pleasantries began. "What a beautiful home, little angelfish," the plump woman purred, her deep voice warm and deceptively inviting. "I can see your family knows how to keep things afloat, even in the most hopeless of situations." Risa straightened, her polite smile but careful. "Ah, then you must be the sea witch, Lady—" "Oh, just call me Ursula, angelfish," the woman waved dismissively. "After all, you might be calling me mother in the foreseeable future." With deliberate emphasis, Ursula nudged the young man beside her forward. The lavender-haired man stepped ahead smoothly and bowed, every movement refined to the point of artifice. "A pleasure, Princess, your Majesties," he said. "My name is Azul Ashengrotto. I sincerely hope I may offer my services to you and foster a fruitful relationship, one that benefits both our kingdoms." His voice was polished, almost too measured, as though he had rehearsed each syllable countless times. "The pleasure is ours, good sir," Risa replied, inclining her head. "Though I should note, this gathering is about more than business alone. Still, your offer is most kind. My grandfathers may wish to speak with you further." As she spoke, her gaze drifted towards the remaining figures. "And your companions?" "Ah, family, friends, and trusted business partners," Ursula chimed in swiftly, stepping aside to gesture towards the tall woman. "This lovely lady is Georgina Leach, along with her wonderful sons. Our boys grew up together, you see." "It's an honor to meet you," Georgina said, offering a courteous bow and a smile that felt just a fraction too intense. "When I heard of this gathering, I simply had to accompany my dear friend. and I was certain my boys would appreciate a change of scenery. Ma, one of the twins suddenly whined, stretching the word unbearably long. I'm bored. Can I go squeeze someone? I saw that goldfishy prince earlier. The other twin clicked his tongue softly. Brother, I would advise against that. Your behavior reflects on Azul's standing as well. Surely you don't wish to upset Mrs. Ashengrotto or Azul. Don't care, the bored twin replied cheerfully. A pause followed. And mother? The more composed twin asked. Georgina exhaled, her smile tightening. Floyd just stared at his mother, a few blinks before straightening up his posture. Fine. Throughout the exchange, Ritsu had remained silent, his sharp eyes studying the whining twin with interest. He looks fun, he thought absently, though his attention quickly drifted elsewhere, towards the distant sound of music spilling from the ballroom. Gods, he wanted to be there already. Please, Kazuki interjected smoothly, cutting through the lingering awkwardness. Join the other guests in the ballroom. We shall meet you there shortly. Once the Coral Sea delegation departed, Charlotte visibly shuddered, shaking her arms out as though trying to rid herself of an unpleasant chill. Something is not right with those people. Darling, don't judge them so harshly, came the gentle reply. No, I mean it, Charlotte insisted. They're hiding something. It gives me... What do young people say nowadays? The ick? Don't, Ritsu groaned, lazily lifting an arm only to let it flop back over his eyes. Ever do that again, Mom. The grand doors opened once more, and this time warmth poured into the hall like a living thing. The steady rhythm of marching feet echoed against the marble, soon joined by deep, resonant drums. A formation of warrior women entered first, moving with disciplined precision. They were all beastmen, lions, leopards, tigers, and other great predators, each clad in vibrant ceremonial armor. Their attire blended practicality with artistry, layered leather and woven fabric, dyed in rich earth tones and sunlit hues, adorned with beadwork that told stories of lineage and honor. Polished metal and carved bone accents caught the light, while patterned sashes crossed their torsos with deliberate symmetry. Each warrior carried a spear, its shaft wrapped in dyed leather and etched with symbols. Once they reached the center of the hall, they formed an archway in perfect unison, struck their spear butts against the floor. Thum. Again. Thum. The sound rolled through the chamber like distant thunder. Then came a unified cry, not quite a shout, not quite a chant. Wordless, powerful, an announcement older than language itself. Someone important had arrived. An older beastman stepped forward first. His presence was commanding yet gentle, like the sun rising over the savannah. He wore flowering garments of finely woven cloth in warm gold threads and deep brown, layered with beaded necklaces, bracelets crafted from stone, bone, and metal. Each piece seemed deliberate, ceremonial, markers of history rather than excess. Behind him was a younger man, broad-shouldered and radiant, with a bright, easy smile. His attire echoed the elder, though simpler, a sleeveless tunic with geometric embroidery, a sash tied at his waist, and beaded bands around his arms. Beside him patted a small child, almost his mirror image, the same reddish fur, same wide eyes, though the boy clung shyly to his father's leg, peeking out from behind him. Oh, Charlotte whispered quickly to her husband, eyes shining. That must be King Mufasa. The greetings commenced once more. Greetings, your majesties, King Mufasa said, bowing his head slightly. His voice carried the weight of years and victories earned, yet there was warmth in it, steady, reassuring. Thank you for such a gracious meeting. I wish your reign 1,000 more years of strength and unity. He gestured behind him. Allow me to introduce my son, Prince Felino, and my grandson, Prince Cheka. Your grandson? Risa echoed softly, blinking in surprise as her gaze settled on the small lion cub now half hidden behind his father. The child's tail flicked nervously. He was clearly overwhelmed. Oh, how adorable! Charlotte exclaimed, hands clasped to her chest. Kazuki leaned forward, carefully choosing his words. If I may ask, is the child's mother no longer with us? I understand that marriage leads to family, of course, but I would hardly wish to thrust my daughter into motherhood so suddenly. Oh, no, Prince Felino blurted, hands flying up in alarm. Nothing like that, I assure you. My wife is alive and well. It is not me who is being offered to your princess, it's... Before he could finish, the warriors struck their spears against the floor once more, their cry ringing out again. The door opened. Apologies, everyone, a woman's voice called cheerfully. I had to wake a certain sleeping beauty. A lioness beastwoman entered, unmistakably Felina's wife. She wore layered garments and soft sands and ward umbers, her attire accented with fine beadwork and a shawl draped over elegantly over one shoulder. Her presence was calm, confident, maternal yet sharp-eyed. Flanking her were two men whose attire sharply contrasted the others. Their clothing was darker, more subdued, deeper browns, charcoals, and muted reds. The fabrics were heavier, practical, and unadorned save for subtle stitching along the hems. What drew the eye, however, were their eyes. Both pairs of vivid, piercing green, like oases in an endless desert. Behind the younger of the two followed two more figures, a wolf beastman with a sturdy build and alert posture, and a lean hyena beastman whose sharp grin hinted at mischief even as he bowed. Once they reached the group, the two lion beastmen inclined their heads. Princess, King Mufasa said, turning slightly, this is my brother, Taka, and his son, Prince Leona. Prince Leona's expression was unimpressed, his eyes half-lidded, as if the entire affair were a personal inconvenience. There was no hostility in his gaze, just indifference, worn like armor. A change, Ritsu noted silently. Ah, a pleasure to meet you, Prince Leona, Risa said gently, offering him a warm smile. Leona responded with a low huff, barely acknowledging her. Don't take it personally, Princess, the hyena beastman chimed in lightly. He's just grumpy because we woke him up. Ruggy, Leona growled, his voice rough with sleep. The hyena yelped and hopped back instinctively. Ah, Anka! Cheka suddenly squealed, breaking free from his father's grasp to latch onto Leona's leg. Hey, hairball, Leona muttered, though his hand instinctively steadied the child. Get off. Despite the gruff words, there was no real bite to them. Please forgive the young prince's enthusiasm, Taka said smoothly. That side of the family may boast considerable strength, but my son here possesses the mind of a future king. Taka, King Mufasa warned gently. Oh, pardon me, brother, Taka replied, the sarcasm in his tone barely veiled. Kazuki stepped in smoothly. We are honored by your presence. Please enjoy yourselves for now. We shall reconvene later in the ballroom. After the exchanges concluded and the Savannah Claw delegation departed, a quiet settled over the royal family. He seems lonely, Risa murmured, watching Prince Leona disappear down the corridor. Yeah, no, you don't say. What? Don't tell me you've already fallen for him, Ritsu snapped suddenly, sounding as though he'd been dragged from a nap. That's my business, Risa replied sharply, lifting her chin. Kazuki sighed, rubbing his temples. Oh, this is going to be a long night. After a few minutes, the next delegation arrived, and with them came perfume. The air shifted, heavy with the delicate scent of rose and the crisp bite of apple, a fragrance both inviting and faintly unsettling. Heads turned before the doors had even fully opened. A woman stepped inside, draped in rich, meticulously tailored garments that shimmered like polished glass under candlelight. Every line of her silhouette was deliberate, every jewel placed with intent. Her beauty was the kind that demanded attention. Flawless, sculpted, almost unreal. It was as though a masterpiece had stepped down from its frame and begun to walk among mortals. Her entourage was no less striking. At her side walked two young men. One had skin pale as snow, hair as black as obsidian, and wide, gentle eyes reminiscent of a doe's. The other was equally fair, his blonde hair fading into a soft lavender ombre at the ends, his posture poised and immaculate. Behind them followed an older gentleman clad in the formal uniform of a royal huntsman, accompanied by two younger men dressed similarly. Risa stepped forward to greet them. Ah, Queen Grimhild, what a pleasure to meet you. It seems the rumors of your beauty were quite true. The queen smiled, slow and knowing. How reassuring to hear my reputation remains intact. Her gaze swept across the hall, sharp and appraising. I must say your majesties possess excellent taste in design, though of course a few refinements here or there would elevate it further. She lifted a gloved hand, gesturing for the two young men at her sides to step forward. These are my sons, she said smoothly. This is Vil Schoenheit, my biological son. He's a celebrated model and actor known across kingdoms. Vil bowed with precise elegance, his expression cool and distant. Not a flicker of pride crossed his face as his mother spoke, only a faint, tightly restrained disdain. The tension between them was palpable, sharp enough to cut. Grimhild then turned to the other young man. And this is my adopted son, Nej Leblanche. Like Vil, he is also a renowned model and actor. Nej bowed as well, light, graceful, as if weighed nothing at all. He then straightened, his smile as warm and unguarded. Nice to meet you, princess, he said, his voice chiming like tiny bells. Wow, you're so beautiful, like someone straight out of a fairy tale book. Nej, Vil said quietly but firmly, shooting him a warning glance. Mind your decorum. Ah, sorry, Nej laughed sheepishly, bowing his head again. Charlotte cleared her throat gently, guiding the conversation onward. And the gentleman behind you, your majesty? Grimhild turned with a fluid motion. This is my royal huntsman. The man stepped forward and bowed deeply, followed by the two youths at his side. An honor, your majesties. This is my son Rook. He gestured towards the taller young man, whose sharp, watchful eyes gleamed with fox-like curiosity. Then he motioned to the smaller youth beside him. And this is my pupil, Epple Felmir. Apple bowed stiffly, clearly doing his best to appear composed. What a lovely group you are, Charlotte said warmly. I hope you will all enjoy the evening. Please make yourselves comfortable in the ballroom. We shall join you shortly. With the final exchange concluded and the Shaftlands delegation moving on, Kazuki exhaled slowly. There's some serious family tension there, he murmured. I can already tell this is going to be difficult. This time, the doors did not burst open. They creaked. Dun dun dun! A low, resonant groan echoed throughout the hall as the massive doors parted, letting in a slow, creeping chill. The lingering warmth from the previous delegation faded, replaced by the cold that rolled across the marble like fog. The torches lining the walls flickered. Then, whoosh, they flared an unnatural blue. Well now, a voice drawled cheerfully, if this isn't a cozy little palace. A tall man strode in first, dark robes flowing like smoke around his boots. Blue fire danced lazily through his hair and along his shoulders, framing a grin far too wide to belong to a god who had ruled the dead. Points for ambiance, your majesties. Love the drama, very welcoming. At his side walked a woman who matched his pace step for step, and his energy just as easily. Penelope Shroud beamed as she entered, her eyes bright with curiosity and delight. She wore a sharply tailored ensemble of black and deep mauve, accented with metallic trims and that glimmered when she moved. Where others might have looked severe in such colors, Penelope made them fun, her posture relaxed, her smile open, and her expression buzzing with life. She leaned towards her husband and stage whispered, Hades, darling, don't flirt with the royal family. No promises, Penny, he shot back. Behind them, followed two younger figures. One was tall, the blue-haired young man whose glow was subtle but unmistakable, like a screen left on in a dark room. His shoulders were hunched, fingers tangled nervously in his sleeves, eyes darting anywhere but towards the royal families. The other was a smaller and far more confident. Wartho Shroud stepped lively into the hall, eyes shining with unmistakable divine light. His smile was brilliant and infectious, almost too bright for a place that had just turned blue with underworld fire. The group halted before the throne. Hades swept into an exaggerated bow. Hades, Lord of the Underworld, President and CEO of Styx Incorporated, Eternal Ruler of the Dead, yada yada. He nudged the woman beside him fondly. And this ray of sunshine is my wife, Vice President Penelope Shroud. Penny, say hi. Penelope waved enthusiastically. Oh, hello. Oh, wow, this place is gorgeous. Did you already install Wi-Fi over here? Either way, I'm impressed. Risa blinked and then smiled despite herself. Welcome. The Isle of Woe is rarely seen in person. Oh, we know, Penelope laughed. We're terrible at socializing. Too much paperwork, not enough parties. That is not true, Hades protested. I love parties. They just tend to involve screaming. Penelope clapped her hands together. Anyway, we're here on official business and family business. The blue-haired young man visibly stiffened. This, Penelope said brightly, placing a hand on his shoulder, is our firstborn, Edea Shroud. Edea squeaked. Mom, please don't. He's a genius, Hades added promptly. Innovation, systems, strategy, built half of sticks, the little rascal. Of course he took that after me. Unfortunately, Penelope continued cheerfully, he's also built a crippling fear of eye contact. Just calling him straight out. Edea looked like he might pass out. I am right here, and this, Penelope said, gesturing to the smaller figure, is Ortho. Ortho stepped forward eagerly. Hello, Princess Risa. It's nice to meet you. He tilted his head, eyes glowing brighter. Oh, your soul resonance is really harmonious. That's so cool. Edea hissed, inside thoughts, Ortho. Penelope giggled. He's very observant. Hades crossed his arms, getting down to business. So we're offering Edea as a potential husband. Edea made a sound somewhere between a whimper and a system crash. You can't just... Oh, relax, sweetheart, Penelope said, patting his arm. We're not forcing anything. Yet. Yet, Hades said. Penelope elbowed him. Hades. She turned to Risa, still smiling, eyes kind but sharp. Our son may be unconventional, but he's loyal, brilliant, and would protect his partner with everything he has. A union with him means full stick support. And free tech support for eternity, Hades chimed in. Ritsu finally broke the silence. So he comes with underworld access and customer service? Ortho nodded enthusiastically. Yes, including emergency resurrection protocols. Edea buried his face into his hands. Please stop advertising me like a software. Hades laughed, clapping his hands. No pressure, your majesties. Take your time. We'll be in the ballroom. Penelope waved again. Looking forward to chatting more. As they turned to leave, Hades leaned towards her. Think we overwhelmed them? Penelope grinned. Oh, absolutely. Nailed it. Once the doors closed, the blue flames slowly faded. Kazuki exhaled. They were a lot. Risa watched the glowing blue figure retreat down the hall, thoughtful rather than afraid. Yes, she said softly, but they seem to be having fun. And there you have it. That is Princess on Parade Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Written by our lovely Cecilia. Thank you so much for oh my gosh, what is the word? Submitting. Thank you so much for submitting your fanfic to be read on stream. Indeed, indeed, yes. Yes, this is our fanfic reading community night. That is what was voted on in the poll. However, we cannot take suggestions in stream. All of those had to come before stream. And I think Gino might need to go to the bathroom and might be confused about where the litter box is because I changed them today. So I'm gonna have to go scoop him up and then bring him to the litter boxes. And then it'll be fine. So anyway, but while I do that, I'm gonna leave y'all here with the wheel, and then the wheel is going to do the thing. Yes, hi Gino. He's been like pacing and he keeps going to where the litter box used to be, so I think that's what he needs some help. But here, I will leave you with this. Well, you'll get to see what it is before I do. Like we got? Use overblot. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, my. Interesting. I see. It's yours again, Lilia. Do you mind if we do a respin just because you've already had 2 today? Would you mind terribly? Just to see if we get something else. just to see. I'll keep it on here. But just to see. Hi, Gino. He did not, in fact, want the litter box, but I was a little worried because they have graduated from having to be in my room to now they can be in the rest of the house. So I no longer need to keep the litter box in my room, and I don't want it to be in there anymore. The mystery of the truth of Twisted Wonderland. I wonder what this could possibly be about. I wonder. This is not one of yours, right, Lilia? No, this is not. Huzzah! Hear ye, huzzah! My, oh my, oh my. All right, let us get this one up and into the stream. There we are. Alrighty. This was also written by one of our lovely community members. This one is... Hopefully it's not spoilery. It shouldn't be spoilery. Shouldn't be. There are more chapters, but it looks like chapter 1 is just the pre-prologue of the game. So, since there was no other instructions, I think, with this one, we're just gonna read the first chapter. The first chapter should just be like the prologue. It should be fine. Hello, welcome in. So this one is a Twisted Wonderland fic, of course. This one has Malleus and Edea as a pairing. We also have Malleus, Silver, Lilia, Isabek, etc. Malleus, it's all about Malleus. It's all about Malleus and all about Edea. And then also Riddle and Silver is here. And also Deuce and Ace is also here. We have Edea, Ortho, obviously Malleus, Lilia. We have the parents of the Shrouds. We got Silver, we got you. Additional tags are female you, male you. A female you's name is Hecate. Ships will be added along the way. Male you was made by the writer's boyfriend. Reader is not you. Twisted Wonderland OCs made by friends. So we have quite a lot going on. So we have multiple yous. And then also OCs. So we'll see what this first chapter has in store. It looks like it is an ongoing series, so if you like it, you could always check out chapter 2. Chapter 1 is extremely short. Well, alright. Anyway, I don't think any of the ships are going to be coming up in this particular one, but this is just Crowley's monologue. I guess we should go to chapter 2 then, because this is quite literally just his monologue from the beginning of the game. So I'm making the executive decision to go to chapter 2 rather than read Crowley's little monologue. All right. Alrighty, here we go. Chapter 2, technically chapter 1 of the thing. There is a boy? Question mark? In a pitch black room, or is it a room? And it appears that he, question mark, is about to wake up. Is it morning already? The boy thought this until he, question mark, heard something or someone else speak. I better hurry up and find that uniform before somebody spots me. Whatever it is, it's trying to open the lid of whatever the boy is in. Ugh, this lid weighs a ton. It keeps trying to lift the lid until it does something else. Try this on for size. Me. Fire appears, and it's seen from the inside for some reason. The boy is not surprised, but was pretending to be surprised so no one finds out about him not being surprised. But fire? The creature seems satisfied with what he did as the lid opens to reveal a place full of coffins and a mirror. Now to grab the goods. But the creature, who looks like a floating cat but with fire ears and a trident-shaped tail, sees that the boy is awake and he is shocked by that. What? You ain't supposed to be awake. The boy gets up from the coffin, which is what he was in. He looks around and then sees the creature. A talking weasel? The creature didn't seem very happy about being called a talking weasel. How dare you? I am not a weasel. I'm Grim, sorcerer extraordinaire. Whatever. You, human, just give me your uniform and be quick about it, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it. The creature, now known as Grim, started to make a fire, which the boy is surprised by, but he knows it would be too risky to be here and thought his cover might be blown if he stays here, so to make a distraction. Getting roasted alive by a weasel? What will I dream of next? Grim was not happy about that. Well, keep dreaming, because I ain't no weasel. The boy starts to run and Grim chases after them. While he runs into another person. The person catches him and then they are in an awkward position until he judo flips the person and keeps running from the center until they get to the library. Looks like I managed to run this far. At least no one's here right now, the boy thought. This as he stretches his back. He's relaxed for a bit until a fire appears and he heard something or someone. Foolish human, did you really think you could slip away from me? Now, unless you want to get burned to a crisp, take off that. Meow, that hurt. What gives? Grim was hit with a whip as another voice can be heard. Consider it tough love. I found you at last. Splendid. I trust you're one of this year's new students. My, were you ever eager to make your debut? I'm bringing a poorly trained familiar with you. That is a clear violation of the school's rules. They see it's a man with a crow-like mask that they assume is a staff member of the school. Grim was very upset at being called the familiar, as if he didn't like the idea of serving a master. As if I'd ever serve some lowly human. Now let me go. The man with the crow mask looks at him as if he's seen this kind of thing before. Yes, rebellious familiars always say that. Don't be quiet for a bit, won't you? The crow-masked man covers Grim's mouth with his hand. Mer? The crow-masked man looks at the boy, who has been standing there saying nothing. Dear me, of all the students I've dealt with, you're the first with temetry enough to open their own gate and step out of it. Does the very notion of patience elude you? It looks like we're going to have some fan art of the kiddo very soon. No matter, your orientation has already begun. Let us return to the mirror chamber. The boy was surprised by how fast the time had flown and tries to see if there's a clock around somewhere, but he doesn't seem to find one, so he decides to play dumb for the time being. A student? The crow-masked man looks at him confused as if he was asking something that was obvious. You awakened in a room full of gates, did you not? All the students here on campus arrived by passing through such gates, although typically the students have restraint enough to wait until I open them before waking up. The man looked at him with a disapproval, which caused the boy to look at the creature and the man, where he also looked at what he was wearing, which isn't his usual clothing, but some sort of robe. And there they are! There they are! There is the boy question mark. He was confused. These weren't his normal clothes. Looks like they somehow got changed when he got here, and he wasn't supposed to wake up until the creature opened his coffin lid. I think something blew the lid off mine. The crow-masked man looked between him and Grim and then back at him. The culprit appears to be that familiar of yours. You're the one who insisted on bringing it, so curtailing its behavior is your responsibility. But now is not the time for such prattle. You have a student orientation to attend. Go on now, make haste. The boy was offended that he was forced to take responsibility for something that wasn't his fault, but he had no choice. But first, he needed to know if he was truly where he thinks he is and knows who the masked man to be. First, just tell me one thing. Who are you? The question was valid, one, due to him being lost and confused about who the masked person is and where he is at the moment. The masked man looks at him, confused about why he asked this question. Have you not fully regained consciousness? The time-space teleportation must have addled your memories. Well, these things happen, I suppose. I shall explain it to you while we walk. Truly, my magnanimity is boundless. They both start to walk with the masked man, who had introduced himself as Crowley, and Grim still having his mouth covered. They reach the courtyard where Crowley clears his throat and explains everything to him. This is Nightraven College. It is an institution for students the world over who demonstrate a rare aptitude for magic. It is the most prestigious academy of this sort in all of Twisted Wonderland. and I am Dyer Crowley. Having been entrusted with its care by the chairman, I serve as head mage. The boy is surprised that this is the head mage of the school, that he is actually in the place he thought it was. Academy? Crowley describes to explain the boy what kind of people are admitted into Nightraven College. Only those that the Dark Mirror perceives as having talent for magic are admitted to the college. Those who are selected are summoned to the campus through those gates, which can appear anywhere. There is a flashback of the black carriage while Crowley is explaining what they are. A black carriage bearing one such gate should have come to meet you. The flashback ends where it is now the present time. Now that I think about it, I do remember such a carriage, although it is still a bit blurry. Crowley looks at the boy with some pity and then goes back to talking about the black carriage and how they get someone here. That black carriage serves to receive a student chosen by the Dark Mirror. It bears a gate that connects to this campus. And as you know, sending a carriage to meet someone on a special day is a time-honored tradition. He was not exactly pleased with this explanation, especially the part where he was dragged away by the black carriage against his own will. So the carriage dragged me here against my will. And Crowley didn't know how to answer that question, so he didn't say anything about it. Meanwhile, Grim still had his mouth covered, and the boy thought that looking at Grim more closely and not trying to shoot fire at him, that he looked kind of cute, and wondered if he would be able to actually keep him as a familiar if he figured out how to do that. Crowley ignores Grim trying to talk and get down to business. Now let us attend to your orientation. With that said, they started to head where the orientation was being held. To be continued. So there you have it. That is the first chapter of The Mystery of the Truth in Twisted Wonderland. Thank you so much for submitting your fan fiction for our reading and viewing and listening pleasure this evening. But I believe it is time for another one. Another fanfic, perhaps. Alrighty, let us see what else we have in our lovely little wheel of things and time and places and stuff. Alright, what do we got next? What's going on here? Oh, it almost picked you again, Lilia. Oh, it was very close. Alright, the title was too long, so it's just but we'll read the full title when we get that one up there. It was a little too long to be in the spreadsheet. Let me pop this on over real quick. I see. This is another crossover fic, which is why I see. Interesting. Alrighty, here we go. Where's OBS? Where did OBS go? OBS, come back, please. Oh no. Okay, there it is. Perfect, got it. And then I need chat. There we are. Everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. We have when you get accepted to a boys-only college while you're in the middle of transitioning. That is the full title of this particular fanfiction. This was not written by our user, but this was one that they had wanted read on stream regardless. So this is a crossover fanfic for Winx Club and Twisted Wonderland. So this is a Winx Club crossover. Winx Club crossover. Where we have Ace and then Bloom, and the Aisha, Layla, Bloom, Flora, Musa, Stella, and Tekna are also going to be here at some point. Ace, Trapola, Bloom, obviously, Aisha, Layla, Flora, Musa, Stella, and Tekna. So I guess this is just going to be very Ace-centric. This is a pre-canon. Oh, I guess this is also like an AU of sorts. I guess. I don't know. But Ace is trans female. So short, crack, crossover, fluff, crack, sister relationship. Bloom needs a break. You mean this jokingly. So I guess Ace is going to like the Winx Club Academy. I think maybe, I don't know. I have a feeling that that's what's happening. Or not. Never mind. It does say boys only college, and the Winx Club was not boys only college. I don't really know. But we're gonna find out. It's gonna be a great time. Alrighty. So this is in season 3. So I guess spoilers for Winx Club. Spoilers for Winx Club S3 and beyond. Because the description does say that the Winx are 18, meaning that they're in season 3, except at the end of it. Like, season 3 is done, so they're in Enchantrix. I watched Winx Club, like, when it was on TV when I was a child. I don't really remember very much of it. I don't know how many seasons there were or were not. It said trans ace. It said trans ace Tripola in the tags. So I assume I don't know if they're going to I don't know who's going where. We're gonna have to find out. Oh wait. Oh, okay, hold on. I got it. Okay. I think I know what's going on now. Season 3 is Enchantrix. Oh, okay. Alright, anyway. Fan fiction begins. It'll be cleared up, I think, when we read it as to what exactly is happening. It uses he, him in the description. For a look, Bloom. Does it? Did I not read the thing properly? No, there's no he, him for Bloom specifically in any of the tags. Oh wait, you're right. No, Bloom gets a call from his sister with a yeah, okay. Yeah. So then Bloom is also trans? I don't know what's going on. I never read this fic before. Something is happening. I think the more we read it, the more clear things are going to be. I think that's our only resort at this particular point. Yeah, I guess trans characters in general. The only one that was tagged was Ace, but that doesn't mean that he's the only one that's, or I guess she in this scenario is the only one in here. Alright, to the Winx. It is not exactly a secret that Bloom has a younger sister. She's mentioned her, okay, so then, no, so I think that the description is a typo? Maybe? Because it says Bloom gets a call from his sister here, but then it's saying that Bloom is the she here. I don't know, guys. Anyway, to the Winx, it's not exactly a secret that Bloom has a younger sister. She's mentioned her many times and has told them many stories of her, whether it was something funny or some shenanigans. They've talked to her through a call. She's practically an honorary Winx, especially considering that she's a fairy herself. Ace is practically their little sister too. A shame they've yet to go and visit her, but she herself has been very busy with her own studies too. Apparently, Bloom becoming a fairy and recently discovering her own powers has inspired her to become better. She's practically a breath of fresh air for them. So hearing Bloom say, "Oh, Ace is calling me," all excited, made the Winx themselves excited. It had been a long time since they had last heard from her, at least when Bloom didn't monopolize the call, that was. She is? Stella was the first one to react, practically jumping to stand right next to the Ginger, almost vibrating in excitement. "We haven't heard from Ace in quite a while," Flora beamed, clapping her hands together. "It feels like forever since we did," Musa nodded as she and Tecna approached. "Put the call on speaker," Aisha urged. The Ginger chuckled, but did as she was told. She supposed she could, accepting the call and putting it on speaker. What's the worst that could happen, after all? "Hey, Ace, you're on speaker. What's up?" Whatever. Bloom, I have a little problem. Like a huge problem?" was what came from the other line, which made the blue-eyed girl pause. "What? What do you mean?" So, like, remember when I told you about the College of Twisted Wonderland? Like, how I sent so many applications to many colleges and all that? Bloom could already imagine her doing a hand motion as she spoke. "Yeah, I do remember that. You had a bunch of them crossed off," she nodded. "Yep, because they didn't accept girls in there, unfortunately." Bloom could practically hear her pout. "I was going to go and apply to Morning Dove in the end, but, a letter from Night Raven came in today." "What?" Bloom shrieked, scaring her friends. "The Night Raven? One of the top schools? Are you serious?" she asked, excited. "Night Raven College," Stella repeated. "It's a very well-known and respected college in Twisted Wonderland," Tecna explained. "It takes a period of 4 years, the last one being internships that they partake in. A lot of mages graduate from it and become well-known." "Yeah, what Tecna said, which, like, I know I should be happy about, and I really am, but, She trailed off, leaving an awkward pause at first. "Night Raven College is a boys-only college." Bloom blinked. "What? Then why did a letter come to her sister, then?" "If it's a boys-only institution, why would a letter come to you?" Tecna asked. "You are a girl, after all." Bloom's brows furrowed. Ace, did you renew your ID? She asked. There was silence from the other line, which made Bloom sweat drop. Ace? I got sidetracked, okay? Oh, I see. I think I understand what's happening. Listen, discovering you got more magic than just the usual from Twisted Wonderland, discovering you're a fairy and trying to get a better grasp at my powers was the only thing that's been on my mind right now, she rambled, and Bloom could imagine the flustered look on her face. You're supposed to have these updated, Bloom told her. I know. Ace dragged out the word, and the blue-eyed girl heard a thump. It wasn't a loud one, more of a soft one. She probably just flopped onto the bed. And it sucks, too, because I do want to go to Night Raven College. It's a really good opportunity, but I'm a girl. I feel like one. And all that's gonna happen is that I'm just gonna get misgendered a lot. And it's gonna fucking suck. She ranted, sounding very done. Bloom's face softened. She was right. Ace had very good points. Well, what does your heart say you should do? Flora asked. It was silent for a moment. To go to Night Raven College. It is a prestigious institution. You could learn a lot, Tekna nodded. Besides, you've got enough of a silver tongue to stand up to anyone who messes with you, Musa added with a smile. Remember how you trash-talked several guys at the beach? How do you know about that? I recorded it and showed them the video, Bloom admitted. Stella had overheard her laughing, so she pressed up about it. And then that led to that. Oh. And you're also strong, both magic-wise and physically, Aisha nodded. So you don't have to worry about that. Maybe don't fistfight people, Flora sweat dropped. Knock them dead if they try anything, AC, Stella cheered. I'd like to not get in trouble at all, Ace cackled, a genuine one, rather than some of the fake ones Bloom was used to. Which was good. She liked when her sister was honest to herself. I know you're strong, okay? So if you want to go to Night Raven College, just like our older brother, then go ahead. Oh, so they also have an older brother. Got it. Perfect. Okay, Bloom told her with a soft smile. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, no, they would. Yeah, okay. So if we're keeping the family dynamic the same for Twit, because Ace has a brother. Okay, yeah, okay, got it. Whatever you do, I'm proud of you, sis. Thanks, sis. You're amazing, you know? You always tell me that, Bloom chuckled. Hey, what about us, AC? Stella pouted. I love you guys too. You're honorary big sisters to me. Ace tried to defend herself immediately, but, well, Bloom's always the first, you know? Betrayal. It isn't. Okay. Oh, that was cute. Okay, got it. Okay, it took a little bit for everything to make sense, because I couldn't tell if, like, Bloom was going to Night Raven College or what. But that makes sense. Okay, so Ace being trans, okay, yes, okay, trans female. Got it. Perfect. So Ace is now having the dilemma because Ace did not update their ID to say that they are now female. So Night Raven College was like, hey, come join us. And Ace is panicking. Got it. Oh, but that was cute and kind of wholesome. Very supportive. Very nice. What a good time. Well, thank you for recommending this one to read. Sorry that we had so much confusion at the top. But it was very nice, very wholesome, very cute. Alrighty. But we have way more fanfiction. It also looks like there are more works in that specific AU. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, there's a couple more. It said like part 1 of something when I got down to the bottom. So there may be more works. I cannot vouch for whether or not they are rated for general audiences or not. But there might be more. Anyway, we have more fanfics. We have even more fanfics on the wheel. We'll see. We'll see. What is going on? We have Live a Lie, Baby, Hide Your Scars. Alrighty, let's see what this one is about. If I can remember what the alphabet is like. There it is. There we go. Gotta grab it. Gonna put it in here. I see. Alrighty, this is a fanfic for Rare Pair. That's not OBS. Hey, OBS. There you are. Alrighty, this one was also written by one of our community members. If you are in the audience again, I must say that if you want Silver No to read it out instead, that is a thing that we could do. But For this one, it is a Kaleem-Nej pairing. Kaleem-Nej. That is our rare pair for this particular fic. We have Kaleem and Nej, and then also Vil is here as well. Kaleem-centric. POV is from Kaleem. Kaleem needs a hug. Alternate universe. Oh, this is a soulmate. Oh my god. Soulmate AU. They have identifying marks. This is a light angst. Nej is a ray of sunshine. Author does not know what they are doing. Twist rare pair week. No better we die like IDK. I'm too tired for this. Twist rare pair week 2026, which I did not know was a thing, but apparently it is a thing. So that is very exciting. Very exciting. All right, so live a lie, baby, hide your scars. So it says rare pair week, and it looks like they did soulmate instead of wedding or on the water, I'm assuming is what this means. And then the title is from Operator by Rail1367 and Elisio. Whoever those people are, you have your credits here. Alrighty. Shall we begin after I take a little sippy of my beverage? All right. For years, Kaleem had been terrified of his soulmate, assuming no one would want to be tied to a target. The sigil on his wrist, a small red heart with a blue ribbon tied around it like a bow, and the implications that came with it, had taunted him since it appeared. A nightmare had woken him up in the night, and his wrist had burned ever since. He covered it up, layer upon layer of gold and fabric to keep people from seeing that he didn't want to say curse, but maybe that was the right word. Mark. He didn't want to disappoint anyone, and he knew for sure his parents and everyone would expect him to date this mysterious person, then marry, but he didn't even know if that would be okay with them. Years later at Night Raven College, Kaleem had breathed a sigh of relief when he had realized his soulmate wasn't there. The overwhelming dread he'd felt in his single digits had since settled into the pit of his stomach, where it belonged, as Jamil found his soulmate, then Cater, and his friends slowly paired themselves off into units. Jamil and Floyd. Oh, that's interesting. Jamil and Floyd. Huh. Interesting. Cater and Vil, Silver and Ruggy, Riddle and Azul. Occasionally, Kaleem would get pangs of exhaustion and despair from his soulmate's mind link. He dreaded to think of how much pain he was causing his soulmate, what with the kidnappings and the overblots and the clumsiness. But other than that, nothing much happened, and Kaleem had enough despair to deal with himself, especially after Jamil's overblot. He ignored it. He was fine being Kaleem and nobody. The song and dance I can't read anymore, guys. The song and dance competition came around. Through the chaotic swirl of practice and more practice and then show and then Vil's overblot, Kaleem had barely had the time to worry about his soulmate, focusing all of his energy on Vil instead. Then there was a break. Right after Vil's overblot, right before Styx, Kaleem found himself fixated. This wasn't out of the normal for Kaleem. He found himself deeply entrenched in the most niche of subjects and people on occasion, from doggedly resolving to memorize every type of poisonous substance, which came in handy, as he'd known it would, to learning flower language, which didn't. But this was different. Usually, Kaleem's curiosity was easily satiated once he'd exhausted the recesses of his chosen subject, but this obsession provided no such reprieve. On a particular night of nights, he found himself under the covers, entrenched in scrolling Magicam. Embarrassing as it was, Kaleem's current fixation was none other than Nej LeBlanc, the actor who he'd gone up against just a few weeks prior. He'd been disappointed by the loss, yes, and exhausted from the overplot, but Nej had wanted to sing with the NRC tribe, and their eyes had met. And now, there was no escaping it. Kaleem had a bit of a crush, and he'd hoped it hadn't been. It would have worked out anyway, but he didn't want to put anyone else in danger. He scrolled Magicam. Nej was covered in candid photos, selfies, the occasional study setups, but Kaleem noticed he always covered the wrist where his soulmate mark was usually found. Like him, he thought before, discarding that thought with a decisive shake of his head. Except for one. It was a beach photo, apparently a school trip, focused on Nej with Riel in his mirror form somewhere in the background. And Lilia, I thought you screened these for Book 8 spoilers. Anyway, I'm gonna scroll past some of these lines. Anyway. Alrighty. And then he realized it was warped from the camera angle and upside down. But there it was, a red heart with a blue ribbon. There are some characters that were called out, and I made me sad. Kaleem slammed his phone down, fast, because that definitely was not right. Then he stared at his wrist. Red heart, blue ribbon, picked up the phone again. Zoomed in, red heart, blue ribbon. That was definitely not real. Kaleem's next stop was the online forums. A quick Google search of Nej Soul's soul mark revealed found old threads from years ago claiming that his soulmate, and then a barrage of new posts. Someone had already edited the photo so the mark was in full view. Kaleem held his own wrist up to it, comparing the better lit version of Nej's soul mark with his own. There was no denying it. They were the same. How was he going to do this? Did he even want to talk to him? Would Nej want to know him? Kaleem's phone pinged. Apparently, Nej had just updated his post with a new announcement. He clicked on it immediately. Yeah, he was down horrendous. The post was a selfie from Nej, him flashing a peace sign with his soul mark more exposed. He was Kaleem's soulmate, all right. The text of the post was pretty simple, probably a PR announcement he had to make to clear things up. Hi everyone, I just wanted to say, that was my soul mark. I didn't mean to release it, but I guess now you all know. Let's keep getting along, everyone. Kaleem let out a frustrated scream, stifled into his pillow. Jamil was asleep, after all, and buried his head in the covers. He really didn't know what to do. While his brain worked overtime, Kaleem scrolled further down Magicam. More Nej posts, Monster Lounge sponsored advertisements, some of Cater's photos. Oh, he hadn't seen that one. Kaleem gave that post a heart before continuing on. And Vil. Wait, Kaleem had Vil's number, right? And Vil probably had Nej's. Kaleem didn't really want to text Vil about this, especially after the overplot, but it would be fine. Yeah, that's fair. He's down bad. He'd be down bad. And he pulled up Vil's number and sent him a quick text. Oh wait, he surely wouldn't be awake now, so Kaleem could just go to sleep and then wait for the next day. And he replied, Vil Senpai, hello, Kaleem, what is it? Oh, I see. Vil Senpai is the name in Kaleem's phone. I got it. Wait, had Kaleem woken Vil up? That would be terrible. Best to get this done quickly and apologize. I see. Sorry for waking you up, Vil. Do you maybe have Nej's phone number? So the typing bubble popped up, then disappeared, then appeared. This was too much for Kaleem to take. Vil Senpai, yes, I do. Do you need it for something? How much should Kaleem say? He knew that Vil had met his soulmate, but barely anybody knew about Kaleem's feelings on soulmates, especially his own, and he preferred it that way. Kaleem chose to tell him and wrote out a quick message explaining, sort of vaguely as possible to be honest, why he needed Nej's number. An agonizingly slow exchange later, and Kaleem had Nej's number. Prefect, who he was kidding. Perfect, not prefect. I was like, why is the prefect here? Why is you here? What is happening? Also, yeah, you're totally fine, Lily. It's fine. It's my fault, too, because I have not gone through and really read any of these. And also, even if I did, I would have skimmed over and not even realized that that was there. You're fine. Everything's fine. No one read it. The text is too tiny on the screen. I have learned this stream for anybody to have read it. No one is spoiled for Book 8. We're good. And to be fair, it's an extremely minor spoiler. It has nothing to do with the plot specifically, so it's okay. Kaleem had Nej's number. Perfect, not prefect. Perfect. Who was he kidding? It was definitely not perfect. Kaleem sighed, inputting the number into his phone, and let himself collapse from exhaustion. He'd do something with this later, if he still had the nerve. The next day, Kaleem sent a text. Short, sweet. Hi! Oh, his name. Sorry. Hi, it's Kaleem. We met at the SDC, I think. His reason for texting, I think I might be your soulmate, and a photo of his wrist. Kaleem knew Nej would probably be suspicious, maybe ask for more proof. He would if someone messaged him out of the blue, but instead he got a quick reply back. Nej, hi, I remember you, I think. Wow, you're my soulmate? I thought you were super cool when I met you. Want to meet up sometime? Yeah, no, fair. Kaleem's heart pounded. It's funny though, because I wonder if like, if Nej, like in this specific scenario, right? Like in this specific AU, if Nej had ever potentially, whatchamacallit, like had people pretend like after his soulmate mark came out, like if people were trying to like fake it, essentially, because like there absolutely would be, I feel like. I mean, Nej's audience base is probably more chill, but there would definitely be people that would do that for sure. And like that makes me so uncomfortable. That it also makes the fact that Nej is just like, yeah, sure, you're my soulmate. Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah. Why not just meet up with this person that says that they have this thing? I mean, I guess what more likely happened is that Vil texted him and was like, heads up, I gave your number to this guy. If he texts you, like, know that it's not someone creepy. Like, Vil probably would have 100% done that. So it's more likely a situation where Nej is like, oh yeah, this is the guy Vil was talking about. And then therefore like didn't question it. but off the cuff, it is really trusting, which suits Nej, but is also concerning. Yeah, we have time for another one. We'll do another one. I didn't finish reading this one either. Kaleem's heart pounded. His fingers shook as he typed out his response. Ah, yes, of course. Absolutely. A little more back and forth messaging, and Kaleem found himself writing a date in his planner. ... Shit. Do you know? Don't you dare jump up there. Do you know? Do you know you want pets? Yeah. Anyway, this was cute. This was very cute. Live a lie, baby, hide your scars by 7 of Spiders. Thank you so much for your submission. Thank you so much for your lovely tale. We do have time for one more. I don't know if we'll do more than that, but we do have time for one more. We can do at least one more. We could do at least one more. You know, we could do that. We could do that. I'm being so bad at marking these in the thing. Oh my. All right, here we go. One more. We got one more. And we have Jamil's Diamond in the Rough. All right, let's see where this one is. Let's see what this one is about. Let us see. What do we got? Ooh, interesting. I see. Oh, these are very fun tags. Oh wait, Peepaw, this is you again. Peepaw, you start and end the stream. That's all that ever happens. The wheel really likes you tonight. The wheel really likes you. Oh my. Well, maybe we'll do one more after this. How long is this one? Oh, it's not that long. I mean, do we want some gay panic? Do we want some gay panic in OCX canon? Does that sound interesting to people? Because then we can read Lilia's. And then if I'm feeling up to it, we might do another one after that. All right, so we have Jamil X OC in this particular one. This is we also have Kaleem and Ruggy, which I don't think comes up in this particular chapter. And then we also have Azul, and Floyd and Jade. They're all just there. So we have Jamil, Kaleem, Scarabia students, original characters, Ruggy Bucci, Azul Ashengrotto, Jade Leech, Floyd Leech, you, and then Grim. We have a gay male character. We have gay panic. We have Yaoi, OCX canon. Jamil needs a hug. Jamil's being a little shit. Kaleem is a ray of sunshine, and then this is Jamil Viper-centric, and Jamil is bad at feelings. So it's going to be quite a fun time. What does it not have? What is not happening? It doesn't what? It doesn't have the Octatrio. Yeah. No, I was misreading. I was misreading the ampersands as more slashes because it puts them all in the same line even if they're platonic relationships. So my brain's just like, it's in the relationship line, and therefore must be a relationship, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not like a romantic relationship. Anyway, those are all the tags for this particular one. Jamil's little diamond in the rough. I'm gonna take another sippy sip of my beverage, and then we will start off this lovely little fic. Jamil sighed as he got a text from his poor dorm mate. The threat has been neutralized. Good, Jamil hated bugs, of course. So naturally, when he saw one, he booked it from the dorm faster than his roommate could react. Jamil was headed back to his room when he noticed that a student was leaving out of the west entrance. But it was the middle of the night. What business did they have? Was it someone trying to get to Kaleem? Jamil couldn't take that risk and decided to follow, stealthily. He pulled his hood up as he accidentally grabbed it on the way down out of his dorm, and continued as the mysterious figure made their way into the sandy dunes. They were headed toward the oasis Kaleem usually filled when they had parades. Were they planning a trap? Ambush? Jamil kept his eyes focused as the student before him removed his cloak. The boy was a fellow sophomore like him. Medium-length, curly black hair and scared blue eyes. Hi, Gino. You can't be on the desk, bud. Pardon me. That's not part of the fic. That's just part of life. 1 second, cat. Please move. Thank you. Alrighty. Gino just wants attention. That's all Gino wants. Gino wants attention, and I wasn't giving him enough attention. But if I don't put my desk in standing mode, he's gonna knock over all my accoutrements. Where were we? Medium-length, curly black hair and scared blue eyes that looked around the area. Jamil quickly ducked behind a sand dune as the boy nearly spotted him. Jamil waited a moment, holding his breath like that would do anything to hide him from the other man's gaze. They didn't interact much, but Jamil went through the list of names and faces he's been forced to remember for Kaleem. Miguel Madrigal Gomez that was his name. He peeked over the dune. Miguel had his back to Jamil. Was he digging? Jamil leaned forward to see. Miguel was in fact digging in the sand as Jamil could feel magic gathering around Miguel. Gift of foresight, visions of fate, help me look beyond open future's gate. Sands of time. Miguel cast his unique magic all around him, and the sand underneath him began to glow blue. Jamil saw things rising from the sand. As Miguel pulled them out, they appeared to be panes of blue glass. Jamil moved closer. It looked like they were people. It was a scene being displayed. Miguel began to gather them up. As Jamil got closer, his foot slipped on a very surprising scorpion, which sent him sliding down right in front of Miguel. Both boys froze as they awkwardly stared at each other for a moment. Now that he was closer, Jamil saw Kaleem in one of the glass panes. It was a scene of someone slipping something into his food. Jamil grabbed it and stared at the glass, trying to identify the person. What's this? The future. My unique magic allows me to see the future in panes of glass. I make one for each hour of the upcoming day. So this will happen tomorrow? He held up the glass pane that held the image of Kaleem to Miguel. He nodded. How did he know about this? How did he not know about this? A unique magic that could see the future? The potential was enormous with a spell like this. He looked at the other panes of glass. A few more had Kaleem. He had a real-life oracle under Scarabia's roof. How could he not take advantage of this? All the things he could prevent to make his life a little bit easier. Jamil gripped his shoulders, fingers digging in so tightly they'd probably leave bruises on Miguel's shoulders. He flinched as Jamil spoke quietly. Who else knows about this? How long have you been able to do this? Miguel looked scared and uncomfortable as Jamil realized he was probably freaking out the poor boy. Yeah, no, that's fair. He stepped back and cleared his throat. If he wanted to use Miguel, he would need to do what he always did. Lie in wait, charm, and get Miguel to trust him. Forgive me, I got excited. Your unique magic is incredible. Does anyone else know about it? No, I manifested it on my own, so no one knows. I manifested it like 2 months ago? 2 months. 2 months worth of knowledge he'd been unknowingly sleeping on. What happens to the glass panes? I assume they disappear over time? How long till they disappear? About an hour. I can't control what they show me. I just know there's one for each hour and they focus on one individual at the school. Never me. You should have said something. As house wardens need to update school records when students find their unique magic. A lie. There were a lot of students in each dorm, and no one was guaranteed a unique magic. Whoop. So there was no real need to mention it if you had one, except for possible bragging rights. Jamil began to gather up the glass panes into his arms. I'll be taking these. Wouldn't want them to break. Miguel tried to protest. But you can't. No one human is meant to know how the future is going to play out. I don't even look at all of them. Jamil smiled softly, patting him on the shoulder. Miguel, I'll only be viewing the ones involving Kaleem. I care greatly about him, and the last thing I want is to see harm come to him, so please allow me to view these for the time they last. Miguel began to protest again, but Jamil met his gaze as he spoke the incantation. The one reflected in your eyes is your master. Answer me when asked. Bow your head when commanded. Snake's temptation. Is that the Japanese one? Snake's temptation? Is that the English one? I don't really know that much about Jamil's special magic, I am now realizing. I thought it was Snake Whisper. Miguel's eyes began to glow as Jamil smirked. You'll carry these to the patio of Scarabia with me. Afterwards, you will go straight to your room and sleep. You will remember nothing of this encounter. Yes, master. And there you have it, Jamil's diamond in the rough. My. This will be oh, okay, so it is the Japanese name. Got it. There will be more chapters, presumably, of this one. But thank you so much for submitting your fanfiction. I think we should do one more, though. I think we should do one more. Should we do one more? I think we should. Let's see what it'll be, though. Let's see what it will be. That's not OBS. Oh my god, that's not OBS. There it is. You would think after all this time of streaming, I would have my windows all sorted out. All right, let's see. Let's see what there is to see. What is our probably last one of the night gonna be? Because I'm starting to get a headache. Which one is it gonna be? Ooh, spicy. Hairline Fractures Chapter 2. Alrighty. That is what we shall do then. Okie dokie. Where? There it is. Oh, it was right there. Look at that. Look at that. My, oh my. We have yet another one. Oh, the wheel's actually been quite kind to Seven of Spiders as well. Today. Yeah, it has been. Alright, this is... Oh, there's so many things. Oh, there's so many tags. Oh my. Let's see. How long are you? This one's a lot longer. I'm gonna say, because we already read 2 of 7s, that maybe we try someone else. Maybe we try someone else. I'll keep it in here. I'll keep it in, obviously. But maybe we do that. Yeah, if they're not here and we already read, this would be their third. Let's do a different one. Alright, just like that, it became love. I don't know who wrote this one. I gotta resort the list again. Because I wanted to make sure that we actually had it. That just like that, it is love. There is. Oh, look at that! The wheel loves you as well. My, oh my. All right, we'll do this one for tonight, and then I think that'll be the second one of yours. Yeah, so that seems fair. That seems fair. I think. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Cool. We're gonna pop on over to there. I think. Did I not copy the right one? I did not. That's on me. There we go. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. Alrighty. Here we go. We have a lovely little Kaleem Malleus fic. We have Kaleem Malleus. And it has Kaleem and Malleus in it, if you can imagine that. We have Lilia, Jamil, you, and Grim also potentially making an appearance. We have gender neutral you. We have background Grim, soft Malleus. Malleus tries. Kaleem is the sunshine. Cute Kaleem, oblivious Kaleem. Cute Malleus, love at first sight. Fluff, post episode 4. Established relationships, good parenting Lilia, and then soft, and then romance. So this should be a nice little fluffy piece to end off our evening of fan fiction reading. Malleus Draconia was accustomed to being revered, adored, or feared. Most people either spoke of him with awe or lowered their voices whenever his name was mentioned. Even after beginning his studies at Nightraven College, little changed. Students would stare from afar, whispers among themselves, and quickly clear a path whenever he walked through the halls. For a long time, Malleus accepted that this was simply how things would always be. Fortunately, he was not entirely alone. Lilia Van Rouge had enrolled in Nightraven College alongside him and continued treating him no differently than he had for decades. To Lilia, Malleus was not the future ruler of the Briar Valley. He was simply Malleus. Later, Silver arrived as well and was sorted into Deisomnia. Having another familiar face brought Malleus a quiet comfort. Still, he assumed these would remain his only meaningful companions. That belief changed on his second birthday at Nightraven College. Recently, Scarabia had appointed a new house warden, Kaleem Alasim, heir to the influential Alasim merchant family. Malleus had heard bits and pieces about him. Students described him as cheerful, generous, and impossibly bright. Malleus had paid little attention. After all, what difference would one more student make? Surely this Kaleem Alasim would behave no differently from everyone else. He was mistaken. Once classes ended, Malleus found himself surrounded by a group of Scarabia students in the school's courtyard. Before he could question their presence, a shower of flower petals rained down upon him. Happy birthday! The voices rang out in unison across the courtyard, yet one voice stood above all the others. Happy birthday, Malleus! Kaleem Al-Asim stood at the center of the group, grinning brightly enough to rival the sun itself. For a brief moment, Malleus forgot how to think. His mind went entirely blank. The petals drifted around him while Kaleem beamed proudly, utterly unaware that he had just stunned one of the most powerful mages in the world into silence. Hope we didn't scare you, Kaleem said cheerfully. It's a tradition back home to throw flower petals over whoever's birthday we're celebrating. Malleus blinked. Once, twice. Nothing happened. Kaleem's smile faltered slightly. He rubbed the back of his neck before fiddling with the hem of his cardigan. I hoped you liked them. I actually ordered these flowers from your homeland. That finally drew Malleus's attention downward. He carefully plucked a petal from where it had landed in his hair. His eyes widened ever so slightly. The flower was native to Briar Valley. You requested these? Malleus asked slowly. For me? Kaleem immediately brightened again. Yup. He pointed towards Malleus enthusiastically. You're Malleus, right? I mean Malleus Draconia? The casual way he spoke Malleus's name only deepened the prince's confusion. There was no trembling in his voice, no fear, no forced politeness, just genuine excitement. How curious. How brave. Was this how humans normally spoke to their friends? We haven't really met yet outside house warden meetings, Kaleem continued, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't congratulate you on your birthday. His laughter chimed like tiny bells. Oh, are you having a party? Birthdays aren't birthdays without a party. Malleus stared. He had never truly celebrated his birthday before, at least not in the way Kaleem clearly meant. His hesitation lasted a long second, too. Kaleem gasped dramatically. Wait, his eyes widened. You don't have a party today? Malleus remained silent. Oh, we absolutely cannot have that, Kaleem declared. I'll throw you one. Kaleem, Jamil Viper suddenly appeared beside him. The Scarabia Vice House Warden wore the exhausted expression of someone who had already dealt with several disasters that day. You cannot organize an entire party on a whim. Oh. Kaleem immediately deflated. His shoulders slumped and he stared at the ground with all the sadness of a scolded puppy. For reasons Malleus could not explain, the sight felt strangely unpleasant. Regardless, Malleus said, drawing everyone's attention back to him, I appreciate the gesture, Asim. The transformation was immediate. Kaleem's face lit up once more. Really? Then I'll invite you to a party soon anyway. It can be a belated birthday party. Kaleem, Jamil sighed, we still have things to do. The Vice House Warden gently began steering Kaleem back towards Scarabia. The other students followed behind them. As he was being dragged away, Kaleem twisted around and waved both arms energetically. Bye, Malleus! The smile he wore remained bright until he disappeared around the corner. Long after he had gone, Malleus remained standing in the courtyard. A single flower petal rested in his palm. For some reason, he found himself smiling. Later that evening, Malleus sought out Lilia. He found the older Fae lounging comfortably in Dias Omnia's common room, scrolling through his phone. Lilia? Lilia looked up. What is it, Malleus? Malleus stood silently for a moment. I wish to ask something. Lilia immediately set his phone aside. The seriousness in Malleus's voice was impossible to ignore. Of course. Is it true that Kaleem Al-Asim is a member of your club? Oh, Kaleem! Lilia laughed. Yes, he is. Why? His grin widened knowingly. Oh, he did the flower petal surprise, didn't he? Lilia knew! Oh my goodness, Malleus blinked, you knew. Naturally, Lilia rested his chin in his hand. He spent nearly a week preparing for it. Malleus stared. A week? Lilia chuckled. He kept asking everyone what your favorite flowers were. He wanted to make sure he got you something you'd like. For once, Malleus found himself at a loss for words. Someone had gone through all that effort simply because it was his birthday? Simply because they wanted to make him smile? Malleus? Lilia tilted his head. His expression shifted when he noticed how deeply Malleus seemed to be contemplating something. A long silence followed. Then, Malleus spoke. Lilia? Yes? May I have permission to court your fellow music club member? Wow, that went from 0 to 180 real quick. The room became utterly silent. Lilia blinked. Then a grin slowly spread across his face. Oh, his eyes sparkled with delight. This is gonna be fun. Oh, okay, alrighty. Lilia Van Rouge considered himself a fairly good judge of character. After a few centuries of traveling, meeting countless humans and Fae alike, he had learned that people were rarely as simple as they first appeared. Many students looked at Kaleem Al-Asim and saw only a cheerful, carefree air. Lilia knew better. Beneath the endless smiles and boundless enthusiasm was someone remarkably attentive. Kaleem noticed things. The slight droop of a person's shoulders, a smile that did not quite reach someone's eyes, the exhaustion hidden beneath the classmates' laughter. Compared to most students, and perhaps even most humans Lilia had encountered throughout his life, Kaleem possessed an unusually high emotional intelligence. Whenever he noticed someone was in trouble, he would immediately try to help. Not every attempt succeeded. Sometimes his solutions were overly extravagant. Sometimes he completely misunderstood the problem, but he always tried. That sincerity was something Lilia deeply admired, which was precisely why he was delighted when Malleus confessed his intentions. Most days, Lilia would have taken advantage of the situation. Malleus was terribly inexperienced with romance, perhaps even more so than Sabak. The temptation to provide questionable advice simply to watch the resulting chaos was nearly irresistible. Nearly, however. This time was different. Kaleem was his friend, Malleus was family. Lilia wanted this to work. so for once he decided to help sincerely. The following music club meeting found Lilia casually sliding into the seat beside Kaleem. So, he began. Kaleem looked up from where he had been tuning an instrument. What does courting look like in the scalding sands? Kaleem blinked. Courtship? Kaleem immediately brightened. Without the slightest suspicion, he happily launched into an explanation. Lilia learned about traditional gifts, about spending time together, about offering thoughtful gestures, about showing sincerity through actions rather than merely words. Most importantly, he learned what Kaleem personally considered romantic. Once the meeting ended, every piece of information was promptly delivered to Malleus. The prince listened with complete seriousness. Together, the two began constructing what could only be described as a courtship strategy. Malleus approached the matter with the same dedication someone would apply to diplomatic negotiations. The first gifts appeared shortly afterwards: flowers, books, rare sweets from Briar Valley, small trinkets that reminded Malleus of Kaleem. Each gift was carefully chosen, each one meticulously researched. Kaleem accepted every single one with overwhelming enthusiasm. Soon, Malleus began seeking opportunities to spend more time with him. Walks around campus, meals between classes, conversations after house warden meetings. At first, Malleus believed he was the only one making an effort. Then he realized Kaleem was doing the same, perhaps without even noticing it. Somehow, Kaleem always seemed to know when Malleus had remained awake too late. On those evenings, a familiar flying carpet would appear outside Diasomnia's tower window. Kaleem would be sitting atop it with an eager grin. Come on! The invitation was always impossible to refuse. Together, they would soar through the night sky. Sometimes they talked endlessly, about classes, about friends, about funny incidents that had happened during the day. Other times, conversation wasn't necessary. They simply sat together as the carpet drifted through the cool evening air. Above them stretched countless stars. Below them shimmered the lights of Sage's Island. For Malleus, those silent nights became some of his favorite memories. He found himself looking forward to them more than he cared to admit. As the semester slowly approached its end, Malleus reached a conclusion. It was time. He could no longer postpone it any longer. He needed to confess. Naturally, he prepared thoroughly, perhaps too thoroughly. Malleus planned the confession itself. Then he planned what would happen afterwards. Then he planned for the possibility that Kaleem returned his feelings. And then once that possibility entered his mind, further preparations became unavoidable. Summer vacation was approaching. Surely they would spend it together. Therefore, arrangements had to be made. Reservations were secured, travel routes organized, potential destinations researched, entire schedules drafted. Several locations had been specifically recommended by Lilia as being particularly popular among couples. Malleus accepted the advice without question. Meanwhile, Kaleem remained completely unaware that his future had already been meticulously organized months in advance. The prince reviewed the plans one final time. The confession would happen before the semester ended. Everything was prepared. Everything was perfect. There was absolutely no possibility that anything could go wrong. Unfortunately for Malleus Draconia, those words rarely survived first contact with reality. The semester's final sunset painted the sky gold and crimson. Malleus stood beneath one of the oldest trees on campus waiting. Everything had been arranged perfectly. He had chosen a quiet location. Gina, what are you... Oh, I see what he's doing. He had rehearsed his words. He had even prepared several alternative responses depending on Kaleem's answer. Lilia had called the last part excessive. Malleus disagreed. A relationship required proper planning, especially considering he had already organized a significant portion of their summer vacation. The sound of hurried footsteps interrupted his thoughts. Malleus! Kaleem appeared moments later, waving as he approached. His smile was as bright as ever. Sorry, I got held up helping some first years pack. There is no need to apologize. Kaleem grinned. So what did you want to talk about? For the first time that evening, Malleus felt nervous, an unfamiliar sensation, one he did not particularly enjoy. Still, he pressed onwards. Kaleem? I have something important to tell you. The smile on Kaleem's face softened. Oh, okay. The two stood beneath the shade of the tree as the evening breeze drifted between them. Malleus took a breath. I have enjoyed the time we have spent together these past months. Kaleem nodded. Me too. The gifts I have given you? Yeah. The walks? The meals? Yep. The nightly carpet rides? Kaleem's smile widened. Oh, those are my favorite. Malleus felt his confidence return. Everything proceeded as expected. I am pleased to hear that. Kaleem tilted his head. Malleus continued, You have become someone precious to me. The confusion deepened. You're kind. Kaleem blinked. You are thoughtful. Another blink. You make me happy. Now Kaleem looked genuinely stunned. Malleus stepped forward, his gaze remaining fixed on Kaleem's. Kaleem Alasim. The use of his full name made Kaleem straighten immediately. I wish to continue spending my days with you. A pause. I wish to remain by your side. Another pause. I wish to court you. Silence. Complete silence. The breeze stopped. The world itself seemed to pause. Kaleem stared and stared. Malleus waited patiently. Surely Kaleem was simply processing his words. That was understandable. Confessions could be emotionally overwhelming. Court me? Yes. Like, Kaleem pointed between them. Romantically? Correct. Another long silence. Malleus began to notice something alarming. Kaleem's face was turning red. Very red. Dangerously red. Malleus? His voice came out strangely high. Kaleem swallowed. Have you been trying to romance me this whole time? Malleus blinked. Yes. The gifts? Yes. The flowers? Yes. The invitations? Yes. The spending time together? Yes. The walks? Yes. The stargazing? Yes. Yes! Kaleem looked horrified. Not because he was upset, because he looked like someone who had just solved a mystery several months too late. Oh. Malleus was beginning to grow concerned. Kaleem? The Scarabia house warden suddenly buried his face in his hands. Oh my seven. Kaleem, you were courting me. Yes. For months. Yes. I thought you just really liked hanging out with me. I do. A strange noise escaped Kaleem. Malleus found himself more confused with every passing second. Kaleem, are you rejecting me? The question made Kaleem's head snap upward immediately. What? No! Relief washed through Malleus instantly. Then, I just didn't know. Kaleem cried, I thought that's how people became close friends. Friends? Yeah! Malleus felt something in his soul crack slightly. Of course Kaleem had interpreted moonlight flights together as friends. Somehow this was not surprising. Kaleem, Malleus stepped forward. Sorry, you don't need to apologize. I feel like I should. Malleus sighed. Lilia had neglected to warn him that the object of his affection might be completely oblivious. A failure on the older Fae's part. Then Kaleem suddenly grew quiet. His expression softened. Malleus? Yes? You really like me? I believed that was much obvious. A laugh escaped Kaleem. That kind of appeared whenever he was embarrassed. Apparently not to me. For a moment neither spoke, then Kaleem smiled, a smaller smile than usual. I like being with you too. Malleus felt his heart stop. You do? Yeah. Kaleem rubbed the back of his neck. I always look forward to seeing you. Malleus remained completely still. I like talking to you. Kaleem? And when something fun happens, you're one of the first people I want to tell. The prince could feel hope blossoming. And when summer break starts, Kaleem's smile became shy. I was kinda hoping we'd still spend time together. Malleus nearly laughed. The reservations, the schedules, the vacation plans, all of them seemed very useful. Then, he said carefully, may I assume your answer is yes? Kaleem's cheeks turned pink again. Yeah. His smile widened. Yes. For several seconds, Malleus simply stared at him. Then a rare smile spread across the Fae Prince's face. The sort of smile almost nobody ever saw. Kaleem's eyes widened. Oh, what is it? Malleus's head tilted to the side. You should smile more, Kaleem chimed back. Malleus froze while Kaleem laughed, and for the first time in his life, Malleus Draconia felt completely, utterly smitten. Far away, hidden beneath the tree, Lilia quietly collected Tenthal marks from Cater! Lilia! I told you he'd say yes! Summer passed far too quickly. The months were filled with travel, sightseeing, and more memories than either of them could count. Yet every journey between destinations seemed far shorter than it should have been whenever they were together. Before long, a new semester arrived. By then, the entirety of Night Raven College knew about the relationship between Kaleem Alasim and Malleus Draconia. Neither of them made any effort to hide it. Kaleem would happily cling to his boyfriend's arm while they were walking through campus, completely oblivious to the stares they received. Whenever he spotted Malleus from across a distance, his voice would inevitably be heard moments later. Habibi! Then he would sprint across the campus to greet him. Malleus never failed to smile. Unfortunately, the semester itself proved far less peaceful. A new magicless student arrived at NRC alongside a strange dire beast named Grim. Not long afterwards, overblots began occurring one after another. First Riddle, then Leona, then Azul. When Jamil was injured during the events surrounding Leona's overblot, Malleus became notably more protective of Kaleem. Still, both he and Kaleem quickly befriended the new student and Grim. Then winter break arrived. Malleus had fully intended to spend part of the holiday with Kaleem. Instead, he learned that Kaleem and the rest of the Scravia would be remaining on NRC. Oh no, the news left him more disappointed than he cared to admit. This is not gonna go well. What he did not know was that Jamil had been counting on exactly that. Oh no, if Malleus was present when his plans came to fruition, Jamil suspected he would not survive the aftermath. Oh no! Unfortunately for him, Malleus and Lilia had secretly remained behind to surprise Kaleem. This surprise never happened. Instead, Lilia returned to Diasomnia's lounge accompanied by the ramshackle student and Grim. One look at their faces told Malleus something was wrong. Oh no! Child of man, Grim, he asked, what happened? We got some bad news, big guy, Grim replied. As the story unfolded, the room grew increasingly tense. Lilia's expression darkened. Malleus's became terrifyingly still, almost unbothered. When Grim finally finished explaining what had happened in Scarabia, silence filled the room. Then Malleus stood up. Without saying a single word, he vanished. A moment later, a loud crash echoed through Scarabia's lounge. The doors had slammed open so hard they struck the walls. An icy wind swept through the room. Jamil immediately froze. Malleus? Of all the outcomes he had prepared for, this was not one of them. Meanwhile, Kaleem's face lit up. Habibi! He rushed forward without hesitation. Oh, this is about to get real messy real quick. Malleus's expression softened at the instant Kaleem wrapped his arms around him. He gently kissed Kaleem's forehead before returning his attention towards Jamil. The warmth vanished from his eyes. I think it is. It's spaced out the way that it is with all the spaces between the words. I think it makes it feel longer. But I don't think the word counts that high. How dare you, Viper! The room trembled beneath the forces of his voice. You planned to kill my beloved? Jamil felt every instinct in his body scream at him to flee. Habibi! Kaleem quickly stepped between them. Please listen to me first. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Malleus exhaled. Very well. His gaze never left Jamil. But only because you asked. Soon afterwards, Malleus and Kaleem retreated to the house warden's room. There, Kaleem explained everything. The pressure he had unknowingly placed upon Jamil, his own failures, his regrets. When he finished, Malleus remained silent for several moments. You did not deserve what happened. No, Kaleem replied quietly, but I wasn't blameless either. Kaleem frowned. Oh, no, sorry. Malleus frowned and then said, Kaleem. I hurt him too. Kaleem looked down at his hands. I thought everything was fine because he never complained. I didn't want to admit that maybe things weren't okay. His smile was sad. We're both responsible. Malleus studied him carefully. Even now, after everything, Kaleem was trying to understand the person who had betrayed him. That was simply who he was. The heir of the Asim family, Malleus murmured. Kaleem blinked. What if you were no longer the heir? Kaleem stared. What? Malleus gently cupped his face. Immediately, Kaleem leaned into the touch. The familiar gesture gave Malleus courage. Kaleem, his voice softened. This is going so wild. Will you marry me? The silence that followed was deafening. You know what? I can at least commend Malleus for getting straight to the point. I can at least commend him for getting straight to the point. Kaleem's entire face turned bright red. Huh? Malleus continued before he could lose his nerve. If you became my fiancé, your future would change. You would no longer need to inherit the family business. He brushed a thumb across Kaleem's cheek. You would stand beside me as my consort. Malleus? You would have new responsibilities, but I would ensure you never face them alone. Kaleem simply stared. There are many members of the Asim family. Another heir could be chosen. For a moment, Kaleem looked unexpectedly thoughtful. Then a realization dawned on him. I added that. It just said a realization dawned. I added things. I'm sorry. If I wasn't the heir anymore, Malleus nodded. Jamil would no longer need to be bound to serve you. Kaleem's eyes widened. He'd be free. Yes. The room felt silent again. Then, suddenly, I will! Malleus blinked. Huh? I'll marry you! Kaleem's answers came so quickly that Malleus nearly forgot how to breathe. If it helps Jamil and gives us a chance to start over as real friends. His smile softened, and I get to stay with you. I was gonna say, this cannot be the only reason. And I get to stay with you. For perhaps the first time all day, Malleus felt speechless. Kaleem laughed, a numbing laugh. You didn't actually think that far ahead, did you, Habibi? A faint blush spread across Malleus's face along a pout. Perhaps not. Kaleem's laughed harder. I knew it. Then he leaned forward and pressed a gentle kiss to Malleus's lips. Thank you. Malleus returned the kiss immediately. Anything for you, my love. For a moment, they simply remained together, happy, comfortable. Then Kaleem suddenly gasped. Wait! Malleus looked down. What is it? Kaleem's eyes sparkled. Should we have 2 weddings? 2? One in the Briar Valley and one in the Scalding Sands. Malleus smiled. We may have as many weddings as you desire. Kaleem looked delighted, and despite everything that had happened, Malleus found himself laughing. Perhaps everything would be all right, after all. And there you have it! What a fun little fluffy fic for our last fic of the evening. Just like that, it became love. Thank you so much for submitting your lovely fic, and thank you all so much for hanging out with me here and reading them with me. This has been a very delightful little evening. Indeed, indeed, indeed. It's been quite nice to have you all here and to be able to go through all of these lovely stories. I'm always so fascinated and surprised and delighted by all of the creativity that everybody has for the stuff that they read, and even just like the stuff that they read, the stuff that you guys write. I can't think anymore. I've been reading too many things. There's too many words rattling around in my brain. The creativity that you guys have writing, and even the creativity of other members of the community. Obviously if it wasn't a user submitted fic, it's still, all these stories are fantastic. Fantastic. But yeah, alrighty. Unfortunately, Clown Week is over. I know it is so sad. It's so sad. But due to that, we will be back to normal schedule next week. Not gonna be doing quite as many streams as I did this past week. It was really fun, though. It was really fun. I hope that you all were sufficiently entertained and had a good time throughout all the random things that we did. But we'll be back to normal next week. We'll probably do some more fun things, more fun stuff. I sure hope that it is fun. But until we meet again, if you are going to sleep, have a wonderful sleep. If you are going to be having a day, have a wonderful day. And I will see all of y'all in the next one. Night's blessings. Bye-bye.